All right, hello. How's everybody doing today? Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are having a good one, either productive or you're lounging around, however you want to go about it. So, yeah, let's get this started. Okay, so in the background, I'm going to be playing some of the presidential debate for anybody that missed it. You can go ahead and do it for yourselves. Decide for yourselves who won or lost, and yeah, let's get to it. I'm gonna start going right now.
We got some big news. Tonight is history. It is the presidential debate, Biden v. Trump. The first time a former president will be debating the sitting president for the next term as president. They're not being allowed in the building because they fear a medical emergency might actually happen. This is very, very weird. Joe Biden. He runs out there and saves Joe Biden on the impeachment. Because I've been screaming this crazy. But it will be interesting. So we got a great coverage tonight. We're going to be talking about a bit of the stories. We're going to be just generally talking about the news as we wait in the next hour. 9 p.m. the debate will begin, and we will have for you live commentary, criticism, and fact-checking in real time for what is history in the making. And I want to stress, there's been a big controversy around CNN claiming that only they have the rights. On X, numerous streams, tens of thousands. On YouTube, on Rumble, everybody is on. So this is beyond this. It's going to be the most important thing you've ever watched. Now, I will stress, if you want a clean listen to just debate, you ain't getting it here because we're going to be making jokes. We're also going to be fact-checking. If you're here to watch Timcast IRL, that's what you're going to get as we comment, criticize, and fact-check this debate. That's a different show, and I want to stress that. Before we get started, my friends, I want to give a shout-out to Rachel Holt. Head over to song.com/Rachel. Rachel Holt's got a new song called I Was Gonna Be. Space Records. We are in a culture war. We are building culture. And this song is a pro-life song.
It's always a culture war, on all honesty.
Pro-life message. Buy the song on iTunes and Amazon. We wanna push.
Vamos a llenar esta ciudad de puro perreo, cyberperreo.
Pardon me, didn't mean to hit you.
A pro-life message will make culture. Click join us.
Oh shit, this mic's on fire.
As a member of your this show, and consider the weight of this election cycle, debates, and with the law this year. We need your support more than ever. If you want to see this show continue, if you like the work that we do, please become a member because we're making tonight for a reason. Because there are already threats to take us down.
Oh, I did. Anybody hear about that?
While we are live
Jesus.
on YouTube.
All right, let me go ahead and pause this real quick. All right, did anybody hear about that? That CNN was pretty much saying that they own the rights to the debate. They own the rights to a presidential debate that involves the entire country on who's going to be its leader. That is fucking ridiculous, man. That is crazy amounts of I'm the main character. Fuck you, man. And he's right. Like, if anything was going to be fair use, it would be a presidential debate. Alright, let's keep going.
Why we're multi-streaming. So I don't think that will be the case because we are certainly going to have use. So we will be providing our First Amendment protected commentary, criticism, and fact-checking. It's going to be we got a big show tonight. Joining us as our principal guest is
It's just a matter of time, motherfucker!
Hasbro coffee and that is Joe Biden's secret tonight, but sadly it's a laxative, so he might poop his pants.
Well, I hope not. Well, I guess everybody else in the watch, so.
It's Timcast IRL regular, guys. Let's go. Pimp on a blimp.
Jane
that's
Cashman's
cool.
hanging out.
What's up? Happy to be here.
All
hosting
right, let's
Vertebral
get them
Live.
both
We go
under the
live every Sunday at
optics.
6 p.m. Happy to be
Ultimano!
How are you? for the debate to come up, but we do have some interesting news. Check this out. Paul Sperry from Real Clear Investigations posted, White House press corps has petitioned CNN to open up the debate studio to reporters who for now have to watch a feed from a building across the street because they believe there may be a medical emergency involving one of the presidential candidates requiring on-scene coverage. Okay, when I saw this, I said, no way. Senior reporter for Real Clear Investigations, columnist. This is not some random dude. This is a reporter for a well-known, very credible organization with 500,000 followers reporting this. What is this concern that journalists have? Maybe. So, okay, so I was like, my scenario for how this is playing out is there was a rally in California.
Fucking go!
Grabs Joe Biden, starts giving him chest compressions, and he's like, get out here! And then Joe Biden's fine. He was a minor every major network. And I'm not like, I'm just saying the CIA and swap out like, that's the way to do it, baby. Reporters now to be like, this might happen. And this is the White House press corps. How much you want to bet? I'm just saying. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it works, some CIA guys going to tell reporters you need to be there for this because we need the coverage of this happening. Now that they're actually like, CNN let us in the room, there may be a medical emergency we need to cover. It's like, and Newsom's there.
In the 70s. They're really good now.
No shame you bring this up. I have to say this. Called moon landing missions, where they weren't allowed to have a feed of it. They had to film the feed, but there is something weird. Maybe. Jim Carrey wearing a mask. I don't know, but we will find out tonight, I guess.
Get the angle on
I
it!
think it's like a Hail Mary last minute thing where they're like, well, but maybe there's a reason that we should be in there because probably they would have been fighting from the beginning.
Got it!
Yeah, bitch.
I don't know. I'm planning tonight. Speaking of Tim, we're going to take up the tree real quick. You know, you said that you were going to Yes, they're doing a thing called the final experiment. Listen to this, Tim. You guys think I'm all crazy? It is.
Thank you.
You know,
way to trigger.
Now I'm all triggered. There's supposedly a 24-hour sun in the North Pole, but they're doing an experiment on December 18th. If there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, it proves the shape of the Earth. I know it sounds crazy.
Yeah, we should live stream.
Antarctica to prove the shape of the Earth. Oh no, I got it. No, Google it. It's called the Final Experiment, and it's this.
It's like flat earthers.
Yes, flat earthers are going there with round earthers, David Keegan and this guy Jared Campanella, and they're going to go discover the shape of the Earth, and you're going to see me, and we're going to prove that it's not what they say. Yes, you globe heads,
You're not allowed
globe tards.
You're not allowed to wear regular pants. You have to wear shorts.
No, not in Antarctica. No,
Yeah.
we're going to the military
But you
base.
can't climb the ice wall.
winter
in
right
shorts.
now.
I'm climbing the ice wall. I'm going to the ice wall.
I know you are.
But you're saying you would go in like January?
No, you go December 18th. It's, you have to go.
Summertime.
It's actually like 60 degrees.
It's still cold. It's still snowy, I'm pretty sure.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
obviously.
This was wild because we had on. I can't remember the guy's name. He was actually. He's what's the guy's name who does the? He tracks solar flares and stuff. We had him on Culture Work. Ben?
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
it with Corsetti.
Right, and he pointed out that there are pictures in television, and I was like, what? And he's like, this is not this is the truth. And I was like, really? I did. Yeah, so it's high elevation. So for whatever reason, and the idea is that when it tilted the Earth shifts and stuff, the cold sections move to the warm sections, high elevation ice will I don't know what exactly.
Well, because we're talking about the yeah. Let's get back to the ball. Let's say the Istanbul is going to prove the shape of the Earth, and I'm going to do it
time debating a pilot.
It'll be fascinating. I mean, I see the White House press corps. You're like, you mean you make us talk to Corinne Jean-Pierre every day, and we don't even get to be there for this? Like, I would be mad as well.
Sure.
But you know, the reality is, I don't think anyone expects Joe Biden to be in top condition, and so the fact that we actually think something bad is going to happen, I would feel pretty nervous over the Biden.
How do you think the methamphetamines wore off during the State of the Union? Was that like an hour in?
I think that's hilarious. How everybody knows that Biden's on shit during the times that he's debating or doing like prolonged public event, because they know he won't be able to last coherently through the whole thing.
In all seriousness,
He's barely even able to last standing up. So yeah.
we're not going to see that.
If any of you are trying to like defend Biden, saying like no, he's his best ever, dude. The guy is, what is he, 82 right now? 82?
They're not allowed to confirm. So
How many of your 82-year-old grandparents are like, you know, you would trust them to run the nation?
first commercial
It's like
break, take your
at
next one, at the
82.
next commercial
Come
break,
on,
take your
man.
next one, and that'll keep you steady.
If I were Trump, I'd ask to make sure.
My grandpa right now is in, I think he's in his 90s, like barely early 90s. I would not give him to run a taco stand, man. At this moment, like right now, like he doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it.
Conspiracy theories that Biden was on drugs, and it's like, he's an 80-year-old man. I mean, why is it a conspiracy theory? It is a hypothesis that an old man requires medication.
And the funny thing is that my grandfather got shot like 5 years ago. 5 years ago when he was in his 80s, and then he came out of it all right.
Older people medications.
I take Prilosec twice a day.
What does that do?
It's for acid reflux because of my singing. It messes up my
Oh, right, yeah, right.
But you know,
Performance-enhancing drug. Right?
hey, performance-enhancing drug. There you go. Prilosec twice a day, so that way I can sing and not blow my voice out. You know?
I mean, it's just the mainstream media who's like, you guys are assuming it's illicit drugs. Like, no, everyone assumes there is some doctor that will give Joe Biden whatever he wants.
Wouldn't it be funny though if, like, at some point in the debate you see Biden like reaches and put something out of his mouth, and it's just like a pill,
What do you think the effect?
and then everyone's like,
They're like chasing a pill down
What would the effect be if Joe Biden just started vaping in the middle of the debate?
You would make him win 10
He'd win the Xbox.
on and smoke crack. I wouldn't even
Breaks were gonna act as his handlers coming out like NASCAR people, you know, to do the tires real quick, and then just.
Trump should ask him if he wants to go to a strip club after the show.
That was something else.
Didn't they say that he spent the last week practicing standing up? That's what they said. Yes, he's been in Delaware just
I've
working on walking into a podium. I'm
Yeah,
not.
he's been at Camp David practicing, but they do have him stand. I mean, I don't know how different that is from the typical protocol.
But how much you have to practice standing? You
I
just
mean,
stand up.
When you're a Frankenstein
But that's the
monster.
thing. Like, does this tell us that actually he has some kind of vertigo, right? And he's going to potentially just lose balance and fall over?
they've got. Here's the you can do this thing, right? It's a small metal device that you unfold, and it goes in your pants and around your waist, and it provides extra support at your feet.
An exoskeleton, basically.
But these are real things.
Yeah.
They're not hidden, but you can actually buy these things. I don't know if they ever took off, but you wear it around your waist, and when you lean back to sit down, legs come out and you sit down. All they got to do is do that, but in his pants, so when he leans back a little bit, the weight goes onto these stands. And yeah,
So that's what he's practicing.
Exoskeleton.
So all those times they thought he pooped, he didn't really poop. He just had that leg stand thing.
It's not going to work.
Well, and in those debates, anyone who heard him over radio thought Nixon won, right? So but the fact of the matter is,
Selling
unless they
anything
jump on
interesting?
this as we're going, I don't think there's a way to convey that Biden has serious energy.
Right.
It's just not in his wheelhouse.
That was
They
creepy.
Haven't, given him some kind of other technological advantage.
I hope the first thing we see is just Biden sitting there with a grin, with his pupils dilated as wide as possible. He's like, I'm ready to go.
I call that possum Biden. So he
Possum
looks like
Biden.
a possum at night. Do you think they're gonna shake hands
No, I don't.
They're supposed to, theoretically.
They didn't?
I don't
Right.
know that they will.
during the first one, right? Because of COVID, but I wonder if they will now.
There's also supposed to be like there's no opening statements this time, which is kind of interesting. They're just gonna kind of get right into
The
it.
last thing they want is to give Donald Trump an opening statement where he could just rail Biden, because Biden has plenty of things. Everyone knows what Biden's going to say about Trump. He's going to talk about January 6th, most likely. That's going to be the thing he focuses on most. He's going to say you're a threat to democracy. It's very, very, it's very easy to predict what Biden's going to say. Donald Trump might call him an a-hole, or he might make a remark about him, pooping his pants or something. You never can tell what Donald Trump's going to say, and I strongly believe that's why, because he might say something hilarious that everybody remembers.
We should start placing some bets. Like, how many minutes in does Joe Biden reference January 6th? How many minutes in does Donald Trump bring up illegal immigration?
That's good, yeah. When is
we
his
kind
first
of know
slur?
what's coming, but
Okay, well, guys, the New York Post is a drinking game. The Post's official drinking game for the 2024 presidential debate between Trump and Biden. All right, let's see what their plan is. Now, they're very adamant. Like, make sure you drink responsibly and have water, because telling people to get drunk during the debate, some liability to say whether you're Democrat, Republican, or Independent, whether you support beer, wine, or liquor, grab your preferred beverage and a copy of the rules and tune in at 9. All right, what are the rules? What do we got? Oh, it says play for money.
Oh, hey.
Bragging rights.
What you really should
You're
do
drunk
is
and
everybody
rich.
should have
We need a
water, but
bingo.
you lock
All
the
right.
bathroom.
Every time a candidate references the election being the most important of our lifetime, do the same with the phrase, take a sip of water. Okay, this is interesting. Take a sip of water if they mention the most important election of our lifetime, or say inflection point from Biden, or Trump says not gonna have a country. Then drink if, whenever the camera pans to Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, why? That's stupid. Don't do that. That's dumb.
they're making you drink water then? They're like
No,
trying
no.
to make sure you stay hydrated.
That's alcohol.
Oh my gosh.
A sip of your drink. Every time Trump says crooked or Biden says come on, man, that I agree with. Whenever Trump references the Biden crime family, agreed. Whenever a candidate uses a 3-letter acronym, when Trump brings up migrant crime, when either candidate brings up the border, it says take a shot when Biden refers to Trump as a convicted felon, when one candidate interrupts another, but their mics are cut off. If a candidate wags, they can still try to, though. If a candidate wags his finger at another candidate while making a point, if they,
Dude,
when
this
either
drinking
candidate
game's
brings
gonna
up the
get you
border, they already said
killed.
that one.
Where's
Don't
the
follow
part
this.
where Biden's teeth fall out?
This
And
drinking
that's
game's
happened
gonna get
before.
you
That happened at
killed.
the Democrat primary. He turned around and he turned around and started fidgeting because he was
What is he, dentures? Is
yes.
that- oh, wow.
He was talking and he was like, and it happens to Nancy Pelosi too. It starts slipping and then he turned around and straightened and pushed him back in or something.
They're career politicians. Why wouldn't they have a more permanent fixture in their mouth?
Yeah, that.
When you get old enough, it's just
You can't like stick any kind of false teeth in. You just have to have a dentist.
Clones don't get new teeth.
I'm not sure about implants.
Like
or bridge-
veneers, right?
Yeah, but
Wouldn't they be able to do that?
Years go on your teeth.
Oh,
yeah,
I guess they're
and
implying the
implants
less.
screw into the bone, and at a certain age they might just say you're not going to recover well enough from it, so they just recommend dentures.
Probably one of those things we have to do before a certain age if you're going to.
How much would you pay for Joe Biden's dentures if you could get a set of them?
None.
You'd have to pay me to take
you
them.
know someone would pay,
You wanna
pay like
know-
a
Oh,
can you
crazy
grab
amount of
those?
money
Can you
for
You
it.
want to know how much he would pay for it? Grab.
Oh, sorry.
Here,
I don't
pass
know.
them down, and we'll bring it around. I don't know. Alex,
for sure, but I guarantee if he went
wanna
and
hold
got-
that one up?
got like nice veneers, it'd be like 75 grand.
Veneers you pay a lot for.
Yo, guys, check this out.
Hilarious.
So I'm holding right here President Donald Trump on a coin. We can't really zoom in or anything. Here, hold on. Hold up Alex's camera. There you go. Look at that. Which one you got? Back it up. Back it up. Now down a little bit. There you go. There's Trump in prison. Now flip it around. And there's Biden being sworn in. Now take this one, Alex. Here, take the other one. We get.
Oh, but I want to see this.
Okay, wait. Here you go. Here's the other one. Wait. There you go. There you go. There's Trump being sworn in, and on the back. Move to your left. There you go. A little bit up. There you go. Now flip over the Trump one so they can see the back with Biden in prison. These are awesome. Whoever made this is a genius. I saw that commercial and it was like, get your president for prison coin. With Biden being sworn in and Trump in prison, or Trump being sworn in with Biden in prison.
My favorite thing is they're silver plated.
No, my favorite thing is they're like the 2024 edition, meaning like this will just be something we do from here on out.
It's true though. Why not?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yo, who do you have for the president for prison 2028? Is it like Vivek Ramaswamy and Pete Buttigieg? I don't know.
It'll be like with the Super Bowl when they make a bunch of stuff that like is like, oh, this team won, but actually it's the other stuff. So they have all this other merch that they like throw away or ship
goes
to
to
another
Africa,
country.
all this
Right, we're gonna have all these like coins that are actually the other. Or in this case, you know, they have fixed that by just producing both set of coins.
Actually, it's really interesting because remember that newspaper that's like what did it say? Truman loses or something? Truman defeated. Was that what it was?
And
he was holding it up when he won, and they printed the wrong newspaper because they printed them in advance.
Wasn't there something like that with Hillary Clinton? Too?
Yes, they actually printed Hillary Clinton, Madam President magazines and sent them out, and they didn't have one for Trump because they were like, Hillary's gonna win, and then she didn't, and so it's like a collector's item now.
Well, not to make it about me, but that was what kind of woke me up about the election when they said Hillary had a 99% chance to win the election the day of in 2016, and she got killed. I'm saying that would showed me the news is
I love watching
obviously
the
fake,
needles
you know what I mean?
on New York Times website, all in favor of her. And then
Yeah.
throughout the night, just going.
Well, we all watch those playbacks of like CNN or MSNBC
Yeah.
where the commentators are getting like, they're like, yeah, everything's great, and then as the hours go on, they're like, yeah, I don't really know what's happening. I can't really explain it. Like there is actual sort of defeat in their eyes, which is sort of fascinating.
Beautiful.
It was a time. I mean, it really was living through history, and I think that's also why this debate is so fascinating because we have two presidents of the United States facing off again, having already done this, and they both could potentially seek re-election or be elected to office. Like, it is wild to me that this is the circumstances we're in, especially after all of the narrative, like, everyone's too old and we need young people, and now we have a 78-year-old and 81-year-old. But
let's
more sentences.
You know what's even
let's get
crazier?
the
You know Bill Clinton is younger than Biden and Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Younger than Trump?
Yes.
Whoa.
And look how bad Bill. Yes, Bill Clinton's 76. He looks
Look at who his wife is,
77
man.
years old. Yeah, he's a little bit. He's like just very. Isn't Trump what 78 now?
Just turned 70
Right.
like 3 weeks ago.
Wow. Let's grab the rest of this drinking. I want to see what they're talking about. All right. So they if they promise not to touch entitlements, they want you to drink. Take a shot, I guess. It says take 2 shots whenever Trump calls Biden sleepy. Wow, that's bold. Every time the word Russia is mentioned, it says take 2 shots when Biden asks Trump and Republicans what are they for. This is nuts. It says take 2 shots when Biden asks Trump what are they for. When he says he's proud of convicted first son Hunter. Whenever Trump calls Biden sleepy, if either candidate brings up Hunter's laptop, chug your beer. If a candidate calls for the other to
Oh my god, dude, you're gonna die in this freaking game. Do not play this game, dude. There has to be like teams in this drinking game. Like, okay, someone from your team drinks whenever one of these things happen, like a revolving door. Otherwise, you're gonna die.
And that's our plan. It's a very, very generic. And Biden's going to say, well, I completely agree. Of course we do. And that's a very generic thing to agree on. Of course they're going to agree on stuff. They're like, human beings want stuff. If Trump went out and said,
during the debates, they said
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I don't think that Biden's really mentioned. I think he always about your son is. I mean, it is interesting that there is sort of.
The fact that he can't even get convicted. He can't even stand trial.
yeah, it's basically incompetent to stand trial. And I do think Trump should bring that up.
Dude, is that what the DOJ said? That Biden cannot stand trial because he's incompetent, or he doesn't have the mental
Joe, you
capacity?
were found incompetent
Dude.
to stand trial for
Jesus.
crimes you were accused of. What's the response? I'm hoping that Trump does the what when Biden says something like Gerdijal Schmidt or something like that.
Who do you think's gonna start off being more aggressive? Like, do you think they'll?
No, Biden, for sure. Yeah, because Biden does this thing where, look, he's old and he's feeble, right? Trump is spry and sassy, but Biden is old and feeble, so Biden tries putting on this he puts on this aggression to try and seem strong. It doesn't work. If you're a 35-year-old guy and you exercise and you're standing up and you just talk like this, look, when I get in office, I am going to be working for the American people. It shows a booming voice, it's strength, he's standing upright. Biden can't do that. So he goes like that, come on, man. and he tries to come off as behind him. It just looks like old man yells at flag. That being said, Trump doesn't need to do that because Trump does the
Surrender!
Boy,
You have no chance of escaping!
Listen, I'm the best that everyone knows. And he doesn't have to put it on. It's Trump. Biden is going to be more aggressive, and Trump's going to be, well, you know, Joe.
I'll be damned.
But we'll see. Maybe I'll
Joe did get mad at that TikToker.
He gets mad. Like he really has a problem with his temper. And it's historical. Like I mean, it's something that he's done multiple times. In the 90s and the 80s, he's gotten.
Just ask Clarence Thomas.
Yeah, he's gotten feisty with people, and it doesn't come off well when he does either.
Oh.
He doesn't. It's not like he doesn't come across as like assertive and strong. He comes off as easily shaken.
Yeah, there was a because at the time, with dementia or you have some kind of mental issue, sometimes become having a short temper, and I wonder if you're already nervous, you're already agitated, they're both used to being the public eye, but it is a tense moment for both of them if you'll be able to keep that in check or use it in a way that
You're on amphetamines that you're even more
You're ready.
irritated. You know, you're pissed off, I guess. So
He's a grumpy guidance counselor with dementia.
What's something that you think they
Maui, East Palestine. You know,
Yeah.
Well, there was another thing there was another train derailment or something today. They actually they mentioned something about like long-term damage, and they were evacuating people. I didn't look much more into it other than to just poke at Buttigieg because it seems like this is a recurring thing to see with him while he's out there taking care of his new baby. But this is something that is the Biden administration has been plagued with incompetence. Karine Jean-Pierre is incompetent. She's terrible at her job. He's had multiple people fired, like that one guy that got fired for theft. There was fired for some other indecent behavior because they were trying to hire LGBT people that were essentially unique. They were hiring tokens. That would, the Biden administration has the amount of you can come up with for Joe Biden. I mean, Trump could go for 2 hours straight and not finish.
I just want to mention real quick to follow me on X @TimCast. That will be important for tonight, just so you know. If anything happens while you're watching and you're unable to watch, just look for updates. I will tweet out what's going on my Twitter account @TimCast. Just saying. Anyway, continue.
There. I wonder if Biden's going to hold Assange over Trump.
Lord protect us!
But one I accept because Julian Assange should be free.
You blind?
Yeah.
Oh my god, the guy's getting murdered.
The Libertarian Party was talking.
Oh my goodness, dude. I don't have to do anything.
Biden and Trump to the Libertarian Party. When the Libertarians nominated Chase Oliver and then the
Oh my
Baltimore
God,
Bucks
that was
started saying they're going to vote for Trump. I have reason to
Even I
believe
thought that was a lot. That's funny. Whoa, calm down, guys.
The principal
Jeez.
issue for
Oh,
them
man.
was they don't want
Dangerous
Trump to
here.
be able to get the leverage from Assange. If Trump takes office with Assange effectively the U.S. government, Assange spill the beans.
There was also something about the emails or something from the DNC Assange has given over or something that they're not. They're gutted. So essentially, the Democratic Party or maybe establishment Democrats in D.C. now got assurances that they at least got access to this stuff and got assurances that things that would embarrass them got deleted. I mean, I don't know if Assange actually deleted it or not.
Right.
Hopefully, if because he gave a copy of everything to Glenn Greenwald.
Yeah.
So I don't know that he actually got rid of it. I don't know that he could be sure. Hopefully, whoever actually does have it,
Sorry, repeat it.
have to hide it. And if Trump honestly, considering the fact that I feel confident assuming that it is about people that are either currently in the administration or people that are well-known and well.
Calling all NCPD subcons. APB out for suspected organized crime activity over on Sycamore Street. Due to non-payment of rent and related fees, Night City has
I want to see all that stuff, and whoever has those copies should make more copies of
terminated
those.
its lease agreement with Impala Automatics for industrial property owned by the city.
We're now.
Impala Automatics has failed to comply with the decision and now illegally occupies the premises specified.
Just 2 years. This video
Contract.
is epic. I'm gonna let this dude.
City authorities have offered a reward for the successful eviction of Impala Automatics.
I feel like I'm gonna be sick. I just looked at my Walmart history, and I found this Walmart order from 2 years ago for the whole month worth of groceries. 45 items cost $126.
I want to pause real quick. It said EBT. You saw that? This is not a rich dude.
Whole month of groceries just for me, basically. But I did notice this reorder all button, and I wanted to see how much it would cost now. Now? This order of 45 items for 1 month would have cost $414.
That's reason enough for Biden to
That
lose.
is
Absolutely.
4 times
This is what people
more.
care
But understand this. This guy, look, in the beginning, you can see when he pulls it up,
Walmart's jacking up the prices, guys.
right?
And if Walmart's jacking up their
That's-
prices,
that's-
geez,
that's-
what does
that's
that
food
mean for
stamps, isn't
everywhere
it?
else?
Yeah, that's exactly.
So, my understanding is you only get like $200 a month, some like really low number. That means this ain't cutting it no more for people.
No, not at all. There's no way. The amount of the inflation that people are feeling now compared to 4 years ago. Try to tell the average person, no, it's all in your head. They're gonna look at you and they're gonna be offended and they're not gonna vote for you. The Democrats cannot win by saying, you poor people that are suffering, you poor people that are hurting, shut up, because it's more important that Joe Biden get back into office than Donald Trump, because he's a racist Nazi bad man. He's very orange and he's terrible. They're gonna listen to that and they're gonna say, you do not care about me, you do not care about my needs. The only thing you care about is you being in government power and you having access to that power. That is not gonna fly with the American people.
Phil, have you perhaps considered that maybe World War III, a 300% increase in your food cost is worth it if it means no mean tweets?
Yeah, I mean, look,
Mean tweets, they kept me up at night.
Such a good point.
It's true. It is very true. We haven't seen any mean tweets at all of the people that were getting mean tweets. There's been plenty of mean tweets. There's been threats of F-15 attacks, and he's called half of America a threat to the soul of this country, and he's insulted every single conservative out there. He's called, he's as vitriolic as Donald Trump ever was. But at least he didn't insult the New York Times. Thank goodness. You people make me sick.
And he's sending bombs everywhere with our money.
Yeah,
He loves it.
I think we should make the American people pay extra for that. I think that would make Joe Biden happy. And
Of course.
I mean, this is sort of
what the
thing that
hell?
I hate most of the Biden administration, which is that they claim to be of the
It's
people,
bullshit.
right? They say, oh, well, Trump was a billionaire, and he's unfair, and he's mean, he doesn't know anything, whatever, and we're here for you. And they always talk about, anything that happens, they're like, well, it's congressional Republicans that are holding everything up. And meanwhile, every single day, life is getting harder for the average American, and Joe Biden is obsessed with the fact that he needs to stay in the White House. He doesn't actually care about serving people. Not a lot of politicians do, but it's particularly egregious here when he'll go back to Scranton and say, like, it just seems so sad.
Listen to lie like that. I get away with that stuff 20 years ago. But now, I mean, I
Can't keep his life straight.
can't. I heard CNN. I don't know if I don't know if it was CNN, but I heard one of the more mainstream channels, legacy channels, talking about the fact that Joe Biden does have a problem telling the truth, whether it's Corn Pop or his uncle's a cannibal or whatever.
He lied about his uncle. Yeah, he lied about everything.
Oh, okay.
He lied about his law degree, where he graduated. I mean, he'll lie about anything.
Or-
Like,
Yeah, but the guy, the most base thing ever is lying that your uncle was eaten by cannibals. Like, that is a story you want Grandpa to tell, you know, like, my uncle crashed. He said that his uncle was a pilot who crashed, and they never found the remains because he crashed somewhere where there's a lot of cannibals.
Unreal.
Which was like, are you saying your uncle was eaten?
That's when I was like, maybe he's from a different timeline. And that's why his brain is mush, because time travel is tough on your brain.
Joe Biden probably has a lot of friends that drink human and eat human blood. And
he knows all about it.
Yeah, I mean, he knows.
That's what's in those papers.
Yeah, that's not even unusual to Joe Biden.
Well, actually, one of the interesting things is that the audio recording of his conversation with Robert Hur over the classified documents in his garage, and for whatever reason, the DOJ won't release the audio of that conversation, just this transcript. Which, as we all know, when Joe Biden misspeaks, the White House edits the transcripts. So it's fascinating when you see Joe Biden read the prompter specific, like when he says pause, they don't put it in the transcript, and when he says the wrong place, they put the right place in the transcript, which means this conversation he had with this prosecutor is likely not the real conversation. What's in those recordings? They won't give them up.
Highly edited.
It's like Dick Cheney and George Bush got to do the 9/11 Commission report, you know, behind closed doors. You know, they're obviously when they talk to these presidents, we're not gonna get the real story, what they really said. Yeah, I mean,
even the church committee, there's so much they didn't do, you know, that we don't know about, and I love that happened. But all that's behind closed doors. The UAP stuff that happened a few years ago, stuff underwater. UAPs, we gotta talk about that behind closed doors. I'm like, that's what I want to hear, though.
Are they gonna bring up aliens, you think, during the debate?
Ooh, I doubt it. But he has talked about it recently. Trump, that is.
They might, though, because...
illegal ones.
Oh, yes, but I mean, like, extraterrestrials, you know, both might come up. It's an hour and a half, but it might come up because CNN knows they gotta throw in some of that WWE stuff.
Yeah. This Thursday night SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would love to hear about it.
But I think they're going to try and play it very boring.
I think it's going to be probably more boring than we expect because of the new administration. It's going to be hard to interject the way we love him to.
I think it'll be more interesting when he does, because there's no way Trump makes it through a whole 90 minutes without making any kind of side comment, regardless of if his mic is on or not. Which means it'll just be distracting to Joe Biden.
Yeah.
You're going to get a moment where Joe Biden on the camera, curious that Trump is talking to him. And that's sort of hilarious, you know? Like, think about right? It's not like we're like, oh, your points are in. Personality showdown, and Trump is the bigger personality in the room, especially if Joe Biden is as fatigued as we all believe in. And I think that's where Trump knows is distracting Biden. If anyone believes Orange Man is bad, it's definitely Joe Biden. You know, I'm not sure, but he does Joe Biden.
I really enjoy watching the Trump debate, but I was watching all the debates that they actually did have. Conversations on politics. They do agree. Well, I agree with this person and that. And the American people are silent. Pay about for things like that.
Where they hold sinners there, it's a little bit less substantial, so they don't have questions from the audience because the biggest contrast in the because ultimately we know that Trump was live. He always seems to be just speaking to reporters and very not setting
I don't know how charismatic. I don't know how charismatic you are. So, Donald Trump is hilarious, but at the same time, like, I don't feel like you can achieve that kind of level of success in politics, even if it's to be a senator. Like, I don't feel like you can achieve that kind of success unless you can make people feel like so you have to be able to do some kind of interacting with people and have to be somewhat personable. But when you're contrasting genuinely an outgoing outgoing, wants to be fun, wants all the attention kind of dude, I think that it would show.
We have
clearly.
problems.
I mean, look at the way that the campaign follows Barack Obama around and Joe Biden when they're together. Joe Biden is a second. They don't care.
That puppy.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like
he has to be let off the stage.
it's always on Barack Obama.
Yeah.
No one cares, and you can see the frustration. He's not a credible person, and the only reason that he is even the president is because he's not Donald Trump.
Would Donald Trump get bonus points if he held? I think it would.
I think it would get under Joe's skin.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, he definitely.
Do you think there'll be a moment when Trump's like, "Are you okay?" You know?
Emergency, Joe.
I'm sorry, Joe. Are you okay? I'll continue, Joe.
Didn't Trump recently or his campaign say that Biden was a good debater at one point?
Joe Biden doesn't even seem to be in the same condition that he was in office. It really seems like this is different. And I know, any left-wing media listeners like classic conservative thinking Joe Biden's over. Like it's everything about him. It's not like one day he had a bad press conference. It's like clips of him at random. Even when they light him correctly, even when they give him a scripted answer, he just doesn't seem to be the person that was running with Obama. He doesn't seem the same person who was running in 2020.
Think about how much Obama aged after 4 years. You know, and this guy aged rapidly.
And his family is stressful. I mean, at least Obama had two daughters
Sure.
who were in high school. I'm sure that's stressful in its own right. But he has had all of this stuff. I mean, Hunter Biden alone has this crazy custody battle with his baby mama.
Wow.
He has a whole, he's got multiple legal issues going on. There is no relief if you're Joe Biden.
I gotta give a shout out to The Onion for this joke back in 2020. Because The Onion sucked back then, but they still nailed it. The stress of presidency already ages Biden 10 years, and it is a rotted corpse.
I mean, that's what I see today. That is today's Joe Biden.
Yo, I can't believe The Onion actually made this. Because they've been pretty garbage for a long time.
Didn't they just get bought too? And they have their fellowship out right now.
Yeah, it was by someone like Ezra Klein, some one of the nerds from Vice or something like that. I think
This is based AF though.
That's great.
This is a good one.
Do we think Trump announces his VP tonight?
You know, here's the thing. Trump said his VP is in attendance. He says my VP pick is in attendance. That doesn't mean he picked a VP. So, like, let's say Tim Scott, Vivek, and JD Vance are all hanging out.
Right.
And he knows it's going to be one of the three. He goes, my pick is here.
Bergman has a chance, Tim.
I do, but I think it's the wrong choice. Absolute wrong choice.
Even though he has the most political success, probably of all those four people you just named, or three others.
I suppose the reason you'd go with Burgum is that you're trying to get older, run-of-the-mill people who are just like, I remember the 90s. Maybe boomers and silent generation who are going to vote. That makes sense. It does. But I'd still say that I don't think Tim. I think Tim Scott's bottom of the list. I like the guy, but I don't think it works. JD Vance, I would probably say is probably the best right now, but not my first pick, honestly. I'd pick Vivek, but I also know that Vivek probably doesn't play politically as well as Burgum does. So it is tough.
I don't like any of them.
I like JD Vance.
Yeah. I wish he had a better pick. I don't know who.
It might be Burgum. It really might.
I just think it's going to be Bergman. He's a billionaire. Trump respects that. He's the only of those four that's one.
And he can spend money.
Exactly. He knows where to get the political donations. So
they don't need donations.
But still, I'm just saying he's connected. He knows the top of the top. If you're a governor of a state, that's a huge deal. So I just think that he would be the safe choice too. I like Vivek, but Vivek also is probably more of a loose cannon or wild card compared to Bergman, and maybe he doesn't want that. But
and it's not totally clear who Vivek's constituents are all the time. Like, he is really interesting. He's burst on the scene. A lot of people like him, but if you are elected by a state, you know the region at which you're representing. And with Doug Burgum, I do think it's interesting that, he's sort of this Midwest. I mean, I don't think you actually count Dakota as Midwest. I don't really know, but this sort of agricultural. He is a billionaire. There is something there that other candidates don't have. I also think. I like JD Vance the best out of all the names that have been floated around. There are a lot of other options, but I think with Burgum, if you are this populist president, picking a governor is sort of an interesting move. Like I've heard the argument, somebody came on the show and made the argument that like someone who, like a senator is good because they would know how to use the Senate to best support whatever the administration is. But I think in terms of for the people, governors are kind of more closely tied to the vote. So there's a symbolic nature. There is symbolism.
Come on out! At least a decent knowledge of the ins and outs of how the sausage is made. You know, I think that does matter, especially because he's going to want to actually have a policy. Like, if he gets cutting back on the bureaucracy and stuff, he's going to have to know how to do it. It's not as easy as just fire that guy, fire that guy, fire that guy. As much as I wish it was, they're going to have to do. They might even have to get creative to get rid of stuff and have Congress be able to pass laws to cut off funding or whatever, and get, things to dry up. But if you don't have someone that knows that and knows how to do it, you end up with what you got the first term, which is a lot of his policies and his ideas getting stymied by people that knew how the system worked better than he did.
Rumble is down.
Oh, yeah, I've been seeing that. Did it crash? Because I'm looking in the chat.
Rumble is down.
The whole website.
We got over 80,000 on.
Yeah, we had 44. I think.
That's hilarious because I'm watching this off of Rumble. It's supposed to be a recording, but I was watching this during the Rumble stream.
Or so who are watching on Rumble. We have about 35K watching on X.
Sick.
So this is pretty based.
Sorry, Rumble.
Shout out to X. First IRL stream, right?
Yeah.
To X.
Yeah. The thing about X is it's harder to track concurrence, but based on the metrics, if we provide commentary for the event. For some reason, the show disappears on YouTube. Make sure you go to x.com/timcast. Follow me there now. Rumble unfortunately went down. We're hoping that they get things back up, but it has been down. It is what it is. Just we got sued already this year. And so if you want to support our work, timcast.com, because we have a lot of members, and we're 10 minutes out. I don't know what else.
Well, one thing I want to bring up, and this is, I guess, not political, but speaking of getting sued, what do you think about
What is that?
You don't know who Dr. Disrespect is?
I know who he is, but what's the situation?
So he supposedly got through.
I'm following.
I know, but just real quick, through whispers, he supposedly texted a minor, and he ended up losing his game company. It's been like the biggest story of the week. You haven't seen any of the Dr. Disrespect stuff?
Nope.
Wow. So he supposedly got in trouble.
We're in different worlds, Alex.
I know. I just can't.
My world
Chat hasn't no Dr.
My point is, my concern was the coup failed in Bolivia, and they arrested the general. Like,
this is like the biggest Twitch streamer in the world, and then he's
Talk about Alex. No. Yeah.
Yo,
that's crazy.
They arrested the general. The president appointed a new military commander who immediately ordered the people to stand down. What people need to understand about military coups is that the troops involved in them usually don't know what's going on. The commanding officer says, "Hey, we're going into the palace. Follow me." And they're like, "What's happening?" And then all of a sudden,
Obama's sister was in a coup too.
What?
Yeah.
Right? Like they were doing them, like it was large-scale demonstrations against some legislation they didn't want. They were like tear gas and everything deployed. It was really funny because I would watch the conversations and people like, "We're gonna go now to a clip of Obama's half-sister talking." It's like, dude, what do you think this is gonna do? Obama's gonna parachute in and save them?
I wonder if Rumble's being DDoS'd.
Possible.
Yeah. It could be denial of service. I was looking at their numbers, and it is not the biggest I've ever seen. It is possible that Rumble, being a small company, is having a harder time dealing with the overload, but Crowder had a way bigger stream before with like 500,000 concurrent viewers. It's not that
it hasn't even got to the debate hasn't even started yet. It would make more sense, in my opinion. Maybe not make more sense, but I think there's a decent probabilities chance that there is a concerted effort to distribute a denial of service Rumble.com before the debate even starts. Because let me stress, if this is overloading Rumble right now, imagine how much their viewership would have been in 10 minutes when the debate starts. But this is blocking Crowder and Russell Brand, Dan Bongino, as well as it could be that they're, and also, yeah, maybe it's just resources. Maybe it's their network is leaner than it used to be because
you're only making it worse for yourself. Come out.
It is pretty wild though.
I can't imagine. That really speaks to how impactful it is that there is a monopoly on YouTube right now. All of these platforms are attracting tens of thousands of viewers.
Yeah. Protect your implants!
I think they're the most dominant for sure.
I mean, I love Rumble, but it's just not the same as YouTube, and it's just the infrastructure's not as good too. Like this should be their biggest night. Platform and it crashes. It's just YouTube would never. Has YouTube ever crashed him? You ever had a huge?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it has.
Yeah. So like a couple weeks ago, everybody got hit. All their numbers like live dropped to 0.
Wow.
Yeah, it happens when usually when they roll out some kind of update or change, the whole thing just breaks. But X is rolling really well. Let me just do a quick bit of math. And
on Rumble right now, that's what I'm being told.
So it looks like our concurrents on X are up to about 40K, 44K or so, 40 around there. Half. I'll just put it this way: it's about half of what we're on YouTube. So we're looking at about 44,000 on X. Impressed. It actually it could be a little bit more based on the fleeting structure that is X. Meaning, when a post on X passes your feed, you don't stick around and watch the whole time. Whereas YouTube, as you go there, so based on the numbers that Rumble should be back up. I still cannot load that.
Yeah, they're working on it. They're working on it. Biden and Trump need single measurable line to bring in the win.
So they say.
Well, that is true because let's just say Biden strings together 7 funny words like "you should be in jail," kind of like how Trump did that to Hillary, and then you're gonna have Harry Season like retweet that and make a TikTok and take it out of context. But look at this win, Biden crushed him. So I think that's possibly strong. Yeah.
And this is, I mean, I'll reference an Axios article I pulled last week, or the viral and also all of these candidates know that viral videos, memes, any moment that really captures something is going to matter. I mean, the commercial breaks, you're going to see people really pushing stuff, I bet. And also afterwards, like people are going to want the thing they think is the one big moment to get more eyes than anything else.
Well, I do want to make this point. My buddy Donut has a big YouTube channel, but he calls it mimetic magic, where there is something to that. Where like operator? Yeah. Well, Donut Operator is a great guy too, but this guy's just called Donut, and he has a great channel where he talks about that. It's like,
why Republicans are good at the internet. It's interesting that no technical censorship laws are biased in favor of causes. It's mean, and that makes it a very dangerous Democrat.
It's funny because Obama is so good at social media. in the beginning, right?
Was
They were all
he?
talking.
It was a
they
big-
were-
he was the
they
first
were
to use
saying He
Facebook.
was,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He used all the
But
social
he used
media.
it like that was in the early days before people realized you could be good at it.
Exactly.
It was a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And actually, a friend of mine who did political campaigning went to the Biden administration and said, "Are you using Facebook?" back before his campaign, and they were like, "What's that?" And she was like, "All the college kids are using it."
Wow.
And so this basically kicked it off.
Yep.
Yeah, like here's the thing about any kind of early adoption and early use. It's easy to look back and be like, "Man, it was so obvious." No, like there was MySpace competing with Facebook. There were Friendster before that. Nobody knew exactly what was going on. So back then, it's easy to look now at Facebook and be like, "Well, why wouldn't you use it?" Back then, it didn't matter. It was just college kids. And then I remember when parents joined. When the older generation of boomers were joining and the young people were like, "Oh no, our parents are getting on. It's not going to be." And now Facebook is just the parents. Like, younger people have moved on.
Yeah.
Well, what's the new Pepe the Frog? Remember, I mean, Pepe the Frog became like a cultural
Apu or whatever that thing is.
Yeah,
That one's funny.
yeah. Well, they're all funny. The Chad meme.
Yeah. The Chad meme. Oh man, we're 3 minutes away.
Why are they showing us major trauma center? Is that Biden?
Well, we're not showing this yet, so
Okay.
let's not. We're not pulling that up.
Okay.
We're just waiting for the debate. You know, they can do whatever they want.
Saw a hospital and got nervous.
Here, because obviously, you know, we've been on the show, and I haven't seen anything on
About the medical emergency?
about the emergency at all.
Right, so for those that are just tuning in, Paul Sperry of Real Killer Investigation said the White House press corps has been denied access to the building. They're watching the debate across the street, and they are concerned that there may be a medical emergency one of the President Kennedy, and that needs to be reported on, and they won't be in the building.
Oh,
And I'm wondering what makes them think that. I'm wondering if someone in the perhaps intelligence agencies has said maybe you guys want to be inside for some reason. I certainly hope that's not the case. Let's just have a nice, clean debate. We can make fun of Obama. Oh man, 2 minutes until history begins. We are here. I'm gonna fact check in real time. That's the most important thing. We're not gonna. I imagine the fact checks for Trump is gonna be like, actually, that wasn't the most beautiful thing. Like, Trump thinks it's the most beautiful. It was beautiful, but you know, it wasn't the biggest scoop of ice cream. It was big. And the things with Biden is gonna be like, Biden never did that. You know, like
That
Trump,
was a deep fake.
they say Trump lies all the time because Trump says stuff like, I had the biggest, you know, whatever. It's like, the biggest or whatever. It's like, it doesn't The funny thing is, when CNN cut off the mic for the press secretary for the Trump campaign, Carolyn Levitt, that's her name, right? Carolyn Levitt? The response from all the Democrats was, it's because she was lying. It's like, that's crazy, dude. She said to Google search it yourself. About Trump. And then, how's that a lie? It is a fact that you can Google search it yourself. Whether or not he said good or bad things is entirely up to what Google shows you. All right, it looks like 50 seconds. 50 seconds.
And we're at 96,000 watching.
96,600 on YouTube.
Make sure to hit that like button.
I'm still unable to pull up Rumble, unfortunately.
Any last minute predictions from the team?
Last minute prediction.
I think I mean, I don't think there would be a medical emergency, but that would be so
movie-esque.
I'd never hear the end of it from Tim.
Yeah, you guys, like, I expect a can of Coca-Cola, but the Mexican kind that has the real sugar in it.
Bottle?
Yeah.
Bottles.
Yeah,
Bottle.
You need to go to the original formula that has cocaine in it. That's what we need.
Joe
There's
Biden's
probably
like, I'm one step ahead of
some
you.
countries where it's still legal, I guess.
I mean, I imagine you can just get the cocaine and put it in yourself, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but
So
Very
we are
DIY.
about CNN's countdown is 10 seconds, but I'm gonna wait until they actually begin the debate and not the exposition or whatever from CNN's moderators.
You don't want to talk to the moderators?
Well, that's for them. We want to comment on the debate itself.
Yep.
I suppose we should probably just jump to it. We'll just jump to it.
We're live from Georgia, a key battleground for the White House. In just moments, the current U.S. president will debate the former U.S. president as their party's presumptive nominees of
Never been done before. This is history.
American history. We want to welcome our viewers in the United States and around the world to our studios in Atlanta. This is the CNN presidential debate.
This debate is being produced by CNN and is coming to you live on CNN, CNN International, CNN.com, CNN Max, and CNN Espanol. This is a pivotal moment between President Joe Biden and former President
Yeah, that's
Donald
exactly
Trump
why you don't
in a
own in
rematch
CNN.
for the nation's highest office. Each will make his case to the American people with just over 4 months until election day. Good evening, I'm Dana Bash.
That's pretty crazy.
CNN's Inside
4 months out.
of State.
We just broke 100K on YouTube.
CNN's the lead
welcome.
Make sure you follow me on X.
Our job is
Follow me on X at Twitter, on X at Timcast. In the event anything happens, we're gonna go down. I'll update for you there. So how to keep watching the show. The show will be live the whole time.
the audience at home. Former President Trump will be on the left side of the screen. President Biden will be appearing on the right. A coin toss determined their positions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer a question and 1 minute each for responses and rebuttals. An additional minute for follow-up, clarification, or response is at the moderator's discretion.
Oh, good. So glad.
Microphone will
What was that?
on.
Is that them?
No, it's
Oh, that's. Oh, the mouse is broken. I thought they were reading it as like for some reason.
There is no studio audience tonight.
Now, please welcome.
Arms are moving.
Stiff.
He said, "Hi, how are you?"
He does look like
Joe
he has, like, an
Biden's
extra
steps,
skeleton.
man, they look so
Sitting there taking
like
in-
hesitant,
casket.
like if he doesn't want to
Let's see
step
how
down.
Trump walks in.
The 45th president of the United
Wow, this is crazy.
Donald Trump.
Like he can't move his hips. That's what it is. It doesn't look like Joe Biden can move his hips.
45th and 46 presidents. This is
Voters consistently said is their top concern the economy. Since the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. Prices have jumped more than 30%.
We all know that's
What do
not
you say to
true from the
voters who
story
feel
with
they
the
are
guy with the
worse off under your
Walmart
presidency?
account. That's bullshit.
He looks scared to death.
I bet all the people were pissed off at that.
Mr. Trump up.
Oh boy.
We had an economy that was in free fall.
You new here?
The pandemic was so bad.
Frame.
We're dying.
Sure
not.
This is kind of sad already. I'm not even saying that. Yeah.
The economy collapsed. There were
So.
jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible.
I'm thinking about
So
getting
we had to
back.
do
This is a
was
humiliation
together
ritual.
again.
Oh, this is.
I can't.
bad.
I'm.
What we began to do.
Legit, I'm
Sounds
shocked.
terrible.
15,000 new jobs. We brought out.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh.
Position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, but there's more to be done.
Just listening.
There's more to
He's
be done.
blinking really
Working-class
rapidly every time he
people are
clears his
still in
throat.
trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania, where the kitchen table, if the things weren't able to get during the month, it was a problem.
He's lost his
price of
voice.
gas, the price of housing, the price.
The number one issue, according to Gallup,
That's why I'm working so hard
is
to make sure I do
more leadership in government. It is Joe
Make
Biden's.
sure that we reduce the price of housing.
How's he going to get through
We're
this?
gonna
I feel kind of bad for Biden. I'm not just saying that. This is
make sure we
bad.
cap rents.
I didn't think he was going to start off
Corporate
this
greed
bad.
can't take over. The combination, what I was
He has
left with the corporate
Botox.
greed is the reason
Oh,
why
yeah.
we're in this
He's got a
problem.
lot of evidence for that.
Oh
In
yeah.
addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, there was been chaos, literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for a insulin shot as
Can't
opposed to
remember what it's
$400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they can include beginning next year. in a situation that's and we're going to make
He's
that
lost
available to
already.
everybody.
I mean, there's no way. This you don't get out of
We're
this.
working to bring down the price.
going right to
around
Twitter.
The kitchen table.
This might be the medical emergency they were talking
Thank you,
about.
President Trump.
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country.
Tone of voice is so different.
We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never
So many
got
other
credit
things.
for, and we should have, is getting us out of that
Fact check,
COVID
true.
mess. He created mandates that was a
He didn't go
disaster
down
for our
any of
country,
the
but other than that, we had
wormholes or
given them
distraction things that he often does.
a
This is actually
country
really
where
concise and
the
good.
stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce-back jobs, a bounce-back from the COVID. He has not
did
done
not
a
know they
good
have a
job.
camera
He's
on
done a
him.
poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Taking notes.
Thank you, President Biden.
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world. He's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody
Whoa,
else
what?
that thinks he's the greatest economy in the world. And,
Again,
you know,
telling
fact of
people
the
you're
matter
not
is
hurting
that
when they're hurting is not going to
find
work.
ourselves in a
But fact check
situation
true.
where
America's the top economy, global economy.
His economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion.
And look what it did to the economy, though.
Has in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea
come on.
he did something that was significant. And the military, you know, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that.
They would
He left all the guns there. What?
I can't believe he brought up Afghanistan after the botched pullout.
They let the Taliban win. I
The
mean,
truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have any.
How are we doing an hour and a half of this?
None of this
Hold
matters.
on, what?
Any troops dying anywhere in the world.
What?
He did.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can. You want
to respond to him?
Trump
Well,
has
I'm
to
gonna ask you
respond
a
to
follow-up. You can do whatever
right
you
now.
want with the minute that we give you. I want to follow up. You want to impose a 10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that
Not
that
fact-checking
doesn't
Biden
drive
on
prices
this?
even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of power for other things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down, and then they bounced back, and he's taking credit for bounce-back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because
He's
he
right,
spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they
Tax
were doing,
cuts-
and they don't know what they were doing. It was the worst.
The boom in the
probably worst
economy is what
administration
kept the
in
inflation
history.
at
There's never
bay.
been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
President Trump, over the
lost
last
13
8
Marines.
years, under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump, your administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt, while so far
January, 1.4%, January 21, fact check.
new debt. So,
Biden's
former
wrong.
President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year. You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because that's how you manage inflation.
We're the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax was spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the
Joe Biden
corporate
getting a
tax was
question
cut
here?
down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that.
If Trump
we
keeps
took in
talking like
more
this, who
revenue
cares?
With
Because
much
he's
less
crushing it.
tax,
Biden's
and companies were
voice
bringing
is
back
making Trump
trillions of
sound
dollars back into our country.
so much better, but he's also
The
his
country
like
was
demeanor's
going
down.
like
He's
never
he's
before.
totally
And
chill.
we were ready
Trump.
to start
He's
paying down debt. We're ready
presidential.
To start
He's
using
not
the
throwing
liquid gold
bombs.
right under our feet.
He's not
The
gripping
oil
the
is right
podium.
under
I read
our
it from
feet.
experts
We were
and
going to have
historians that
something
this no
nobody
audience thing
else
was going
has
to hurt
had.
Trump really bad.
We got hit with COVID.
like, I don't-
We did a lot to
So I'm
fix it.
getting
I
booed
gave
at the
him an
Libertarian Convention. Loved it.
unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than
Biden's
our
mad.
administration, and we were right in the middle of it. Something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job.
That was
and I will
perfect.
Tell you, not only who are there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer.
I don't even know this guy.
They don't
I was gonna say we're winning Phil over. It's
they don't
amazing.
respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent, all of the things he's done. We've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country. And I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block. President
Gosh, look at
Biden
Joe Biden. Looks scary.
Horrible.
He had the largest national debt of any president.
His voice is destroying
What's
it.
Harry Sasan saying about this? What's
He
that?
got
This is the best he's ever looked.
Benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. And what's happening? We're in a situation where
1,000
they, in fact, pay
trillionaires,
8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise
Can't say for sure.
$500 million. $1 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out.
He needs to stop doing
debt,
math.
Help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care system.
Guys,
making sure
people
that
don't remember what you tell them. They remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
Biden's rasping
eligible
is
for
all that matters right now. This is apocalyptic for his campaign.
COVID, with
Oh no.
dealing with everything we have to do with.
Makes me kind of like.
Holy.
Look, if
Yo.
Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
Oh, come on. How are they going to spin this? I mean,
And he's destroying Medicare because all of these.
I'm starting to feel
people are coming
sad,
in.
man.
I know.
yeah, I was feeling that way. Look at him.
No, hammer down. Get them.
No, Phil's right.
Get them.
Phil's right.
Get them.
These
Phil's
people are
next.
Absolutely.
These people are evil.
Millions and
Phil's next
millions
single, get them.
Get them.
They're trying to put
we
them
go.
on Social Security. He will wipe
Told you
out
the name.
Trump is calm, collected, and firm.
Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished.
Look how hard Joe Biden's breathing. Look at his chest going up and down. You can tell.
I mean,
in the last 4 years
not gonna
is
last.
not to be believed.
I can't wait to see what
With a lot of people.
the polls look like tomorrow and the day
Sasan
after.
said this is already going terrible for
We're no
Trump.
longer
Who did?
respected.
Harry
They don't
Sasan.
like us.
This is already
We
a
give them
catastrophe for
Do you
Trump.
know which one Trump is and which one Biden?
No.
People, what we're doing for other countries, and
Also,
they do
Trump
not
avoiding
do
the
us.
fact that Biden
Man
is so
has
terrible
done
is interesting.
Is
It's good.
I
absolutely
wonder if he's going to
criminal.
zero in on that at some point. Or
Thank
is
you,
he gonna
President
be for
Trump.
us?
What this man has done is
This is
absolutely
the
criminal. I
first
like that.
presidential election since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump, you take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states. However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it.
That is a great
You look
move.
at this whole question that you're asking, complex but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. Everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the
astounded.
court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted.
It's constitutional,
now, 10 years
too.
ago or so, they
Aborting
started
Roe v.
talking
Wade,
about how
you
many
might
weeks
say.
and how many this, and getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing.
They're pulling Biden after
Texas
this.
is different. Florida is different.
Look at his face.
They're all making
This is
their own
it.
decisions.
Oh my God.
And right now,
he'll step down gracefully.
That's the vote.
Is the medical emergency thing real?
Like
I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen tonight. I'm saying they're going to go back and be like, you can't do this. He's going to bow out.
There was a time where I thought if Trump talked too much, it would be terrible. It is wonderful for him to sound like this and Biden to look confused while he's talking.
Yeah.
Biden looks like he is falling apart, like he doesn't know where he is. Look at him, he looks scared.
Trump's talking in straight lines.
Yes!
Weird.
This is probably going to end up, if it keeps going like this is every bit as brutal as JFK versus Nixon. Every bit as brutal.
I'll be suspicious if we go to a commercial break and he comes back with a great voice and high energy.
Well, they knew his voice was bad before he walked in there. You can tell.
Maybe they got something real
Put the
quick.
baby aside, and we'll determine what we do with the baby.
I
Meaning
mean, that's
we'll
where we
kill
got
the
cheap
baby.
fakes from.
He's bringing up North yet.
Well, Phil's a singer. He knows when you lose your voice, it's from overuse. Do you think he's been talking a lot?
Real quick, Trump's bringing up Northam.
Thank you. President
He brought up that they want to do the post-birth abortion.
Keep him
The
comfortable.
fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor, have him decide on what your circumstances are.
Why does the doctor have to be a guy?
The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. Let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young
the 10th Amendment?
was murdered.
Idiot.
He went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant.
What?
I mean, they talk about that.
Yeah, I know, but like,
deal. There's a lot of young women are being raped by their in-laws.
What is he doing?
You say raped by in-laws?
By their in-laws, yeah.
It's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
What?
Moderators doing so badly.
Moderators are helping.
By the same people he allows to come across our border. We have a border that's
look
the
at his
most
face.
dangerous place anywhere in the world. Consider the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. And he opened it up, and these killers are coming into our country, and they are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting. In many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue, which frankly they didn't. But they would have, everybody wanted brought back. Ronald Reagan wanted it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back, and many presidents had tried to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. Every legal scholar wanted it that way.
Staying on the topic of abortion, President Biden, 7 states, I'll let you do that. This is the same topic. 7 states have no legal restrictions on how far into a pregnancy a woman can
Yeah, dude. That's the possum face.
Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate pregnancy?
I support Roe v. Wade.
He's already mad, and he's mad at Dana.
First time is between the...
Get her, Joe, get her!
Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do. And if I'm elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
So that means he can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican.
He's trying.
Yeah, they're trying to help him.
That is simply not true.
Pull up the video.
Roe v. Wade does not provide for that. That's not the circumstance. Only the woman's life is in danger. She's going to die. That's the only circumstance.
Biden is lying. Northam said this on the radio.
We are not for late-term abortion.
And there's video of it.
Period.
Under Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years,
That's a soundbite right there for him.
51 years, Constitutional Scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy was very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do? What's he going to do, in fact, if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress, and they pass a universal ban on abortion, period, across the board at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very conservative. If you're going to sign that bill, I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
You save a lot of lives.
Immigration and border security. President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns. Given that, why should voters trust you
was the Virginia rep who proposed the bill to allow
Because we worked very
abortion
hard
at
to
the point of birth
agreement
on
that
video.
Not only changed all of that, we made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly, by the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that,
because they're paid by the cartel.
When he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages.
Oh, that's what Obama did.
Literally. The families were separated. That's not
Bill's triggered now. Human trafficking.
What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now
I remember Fast and Furious under Obama and Biden.
40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. It's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban.
See the brow thing he's doing? I mentioned he would do.
The total initiative.
Furling his brow, trying to look.
What we're going to do with more border patrol.
And Trump's doing the
asylum.
You know,
President Trump.
I really don't know what he said at the end.
Yes!
He said either. We have the safest border in the history of our country.
Look at him! Oh my! I hope cutting away. They keep cutting away from
Biden. They have to. They don't want to show him.
He said, "I don't know what he said in the end."
People that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylum, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now. All terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere, all over the world. They're pouring in, and this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president.
Look at Joe's
I won't
face.
say
The memes that'll come out of
He
this.
endorsed me for president.
Face out and put anything else for him to react to.
But look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that are coming up in caravans.
President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything crossing the border is one who came along and killed three, under his administration, killed an Al-Qaeda person come in his administration.
What?
Killed three American soldiers. Killed 3 American soldiers.
So who's replacing Biden? I got Whitmer.
I'm not saying no terrorists ever got through, but the idea
You think
we're
Newsom?
emptying their prisons, we're welcome.
I think we'll know within a week.
It's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating. He's lying.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed 3 people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the 2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. And it had a huge not just border on everything.
It would only
He's the
get
one that
better.
killed people with the bad water, including
I don't think it'd get better.
hundreds of thousands of people dying, and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border.
Second biggest issue, immigration.
Insane and very stupid policies. People are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen before. And you're reading it like these 3 incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and they just had the funeral for this girl. 12 years old.
12 years old.
This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything
Illegal
like
immigrant just killed
and
two
we have
people
to
in the
get a lot
Irving
of these people
Chick-fil-A
out,
next
and we
to
have
the
to get
Blaze
them out
Studios.
fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels.
Yeah, he's nailing
in
this.
New York City
Yeah.
and other places.
I
Our
can't
veterans
believe
are
how
on the
good
street.
Trump's
They're dying because he doesn't
And I
care about
expected
our
him.
veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all.
Yeah, it's not even.
And he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved. Choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people at our border by
Thank you,
allowing
President Trump.
all of these people to come in.
President
and it's
Biden.
a very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie.
Told ya.
Every single one.
Good call,
For example,
Claire.
veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act.
He forgot about
1
He just said
million
that
of them now have
children
it.
dying because of illegal immigrants was a lie.
I know.
Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And he opposed, his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq, living right next to one of those burn pits, came back with stage 4 glioblastoma. I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of
ticket market,
losers and
Tim?
suckers. My son was not a
63
loser,
cents up
not a sucker.
Joe
You're the
Biden down
sucker.
38,
You're the
down to
loser.
38 cents, down 7 since the start.
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up, and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up. The 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russian disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
4-star general standing to your side who was on your staff who said you said it. Period. That's number one.
He said you
Number
said. I don't
two,
care.
the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history. American history. And they now are in their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war. That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
All right, thank you so much.
The topic of foreign policy. I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its 3rd year. Former President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander-in-chief, if that's what you call him, that we've ever had. They can't stand him. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, the president that knew, that was respected by Putin,
At least he looks
he would have never, he would have
Twitter
never
is
A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple those numbers. He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think he encouraged Russia from going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible, embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, that when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence, that he should have fired those generals like I fired the one that you mentioned. And so he's got no laws. He should have fired those
Dave
generals.
Portnoy of Barstool says Trump should cede all his time to Biden. I didn't start the sentence and he can't finish. He's lost his train of thought.
Where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he said,
man, I'm seeing
you know
liberals
what? I think we're going to go in. Maybe take my... This was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. The difference
Dave
is...
Smith is predicting that Biden won't even be the nominee.
Yeah, dude.
Never.
I think a lot of people have been predicting that, right? I mean,
never.
Cenk Uygur is saying this is elder abuse.
It
is. It really does.
Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas.
That's why people are saying
no money for anything. No money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all during my administration.
Not
this.
He attacked!
Yeah, it looks like he's...
Never heard so much about my whole life. The fact of the matter is that we're in a situation where, let's take the last point first. Iran attacked America.
What is that?
He said nothing about it. When he was president, they attacked. He said they're just having headaches. They thought this. And he didn't do a thing when the attack took place, number one. Number two, we got over 100,000 Americans and others out of Afghanistan. Number three, we're stuck in a situation where take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine. This guy told Ukraine, do whatever you want, and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did.
Frank Luntz is saying that his undecided voters.
And he went in and listen to what he said.
It's not going well for Biden.
He's going to take Kyiv.
It's not his policies, it's his presentation.
It's part of
He
the
said they don't like when Trump is yelling at Biden. Bingo hall argument.
Wasn't able to get it done, and they've lost over.
Trump needs to focus on what he's going to do.
Thousands of troops. 500.
President Trump, I never for 1 minute. My original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the territory in Ukraine.
No, they're not acceptable. This is a war that never should have started. We had a leader in this war. He led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's
almost
ever
as much as we've
like
given to Israel for 50 years.
Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
President Biden, you have a minute.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people.
Wow.
And he has made one thing clear.
Right now.
He wants
Biden
to
is
reestablish
collapsed.
part of the Soviet Empire.
Question,
not just a piece. He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants.
Like, that's
and then
the
you
question
think he'll stop there? You think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, by the way,
yeah, think about that. Biden has the lowest expectations.
Democratic presidential nominee predicted Biden is down 20 points and Newsom jumped 10 points.
And our NATO allies have produced as much funding for Ukraine as we
California.
have. That's why
even if Newsom
we're strong.
does jump in. Like,
thank you. Moving on to the Middle East.
He has a horrible
October,
the homelessness in California. I saw a video
killing more than 1,000 people and taking hundreds of hostages.
Every year for the past
among those
there's a
held
video
and thought
when he was
to
mayor.
still be alive outside.
I'm going to eradicate homelessness.
Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President Biden, you've put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict, but so far Hamas has not released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military offensive in Gaza. So what additional leverage will
Yeah,
you
you can
use
tell it's like
to
Chef.
get Hamas and Israel to end the war? You have 2 minutes.
Number one, everyone from the United Nations Security straight through the G7, the Israelis and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward.
What about the American
There's
people?
3 stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas, number one. They're the only ones standing out. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened? In Israel, we're finding that the only thing I've denied Israel was $2,000. They don't work very well for a lot of innocent people. We're providing Israel all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the war against Iran when they blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it just stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so they're 2 different things. Hamas cannot allow it to continue.
They're 2 different things, support and, the potential support. They're 2 different things.
Hamas, like we did Bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way,
You mentioned that Trump is up in prediction market, down.
and they should
Newsom's up 10%.
But you've got to be careful
15%.
using certain
What's
weapons.
Michael Obama?
Not charting.
Back to Ukraine for 1 second.
Trump, Biden, Harris, and India are the only real
European nations together
Not in trouble.
have spent $100 billion or maybe more than that, less than us. Why doesn't he call them and say you got to put up your money like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any. They were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us.
They can play the Fed napping with
He didn't do that.
sympathy card.
He's getting all. You got to ask these people to put up the money.
Biden should have
We're
wore
over
his
$100 billion more. Bigger impact on them because of location. Because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them as far as Israel and Hamas. Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one who wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
President Biden, you have a minute.
I've never heard so much foolishness. This is a guy who wants to get out
I've
of
never heard so
NATO.
much
You
malarkey. I've never
NATO?
heard so much foolishness.
He's going to pull out of NATO. The idea that we have our strength lies in our alliances as well.
The liberal response right now on they're either screaming, saying, CNN, what are you doing? Stop doing this. Like, as if the moderators can save him. And the others are saying, we're cooked. Posting pictures of the markets, the betting market.
Go in and control
National Association for Gun
move on to Poland and other places.
Intergalactic ball missile.
He has no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Is that what he said?
By the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South Korea, because they understand that this kind of dislocation is a serious threat to the whole world peace. No major war in Europe has ever been able to be contained just from Europe.
Wait, so President Trump, just to follow
There
up,
is no end to this war.
would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to see, but before we do that, the problem we have is that we spend all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations. Because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, they don't want anything that we have. But we're supposed to take their cars, their food, their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this. I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO. I asked you that question. Would you guard us against Russia? At a very secret meeting of the 28 states
They picked a good shade of orange.
nations at that time. They said, no, we don't pay. So I won't do that.
It's a great shade of orange. You know who else is looking more orange nowadays? Is what's that girl? Megyn Kelly. She looks like she's going the Trump route.
Turn to the issue of democracy.
And another funny note is that what's that? Joy Taylor from MSNBC, I believe. Somebody had told her, made a joke about whether she was trying to comp Donald Trump's hair because her hair is yellow and almost looks like a comb over. and she pretty much said "fuck you," and then the next few days she freaking shaved her head.
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever.
They accidentally get
On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. He comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
Yes! You have 80 seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inactions on January 6, 2021? That's a double question.
I rejected from
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago,
Get her!
on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say. She's saying, oh no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this. Because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor,
Yes, she did.
in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing, turned it down, the mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because I could see. I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her, and she now admits that she turned it down. And it was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar. She said, I take full responsibility for January 6th.
President Biden?
She did. The video just got released.
I'm speechless. I can't believe he had
Sat in that dining room off the
such
Oval
amazing
Office. He
answers.
sat there for 3 hours. 3 hours watching, begging, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, call for a stop, to end it. Instead, he talked about these people being patriots and great patriots of America. In fact, he says he'll now forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted of their sentences.
Yep.
Yeah, because of the First Amendment.
Great.
He went to
E-Bash and Super Chat says it's
organization.
3-on-1 in the
I
show.
don't know how many cases.
Right.
Scores of cases, including. And they said, no, this guy is responsible for doing what was done.
No,
Didn't
they
do a
weren't. They
damn
did a
thing.
full investigation
People should
against
be-
Trump to see if he was can be convicted of insurrection, and they found nothing. The FBI literally launched an investigation for a couple months, and they found nothing to tie him to any of the stuff that anybody did during January 6th, which they didn't really even do anything. Maybe a little roughhousing. They didn't interrupt an actual national something, because that would mean that they would have to actually tamper with the documents of the election process, which they never did.
Minneapolis, what they've done there with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed.
If you look at all the allegations that's going against all the January 6ers, all the January 6ers allegations is that, they knocked down doors, they broke some windows. They didn't go and then they turned over desks and stuff, but none of those offices, none of the things in the Capitol actually had the votes inside or any of the paperwork were available to them in order to go ahead and tamper with them. So yeah, all the charges are fucking bogus. You want to challenge them for destroying property? Fine, go ahead and charge them with that. And not with the shit that they're trying to charge him with disrupting, congressional hearings or congressional, procedures or whatever like that. It didn't happen. Bullshit.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man on.
There we go.
The fact of the matter is, what he's telling you is simply not true. The fact is that There was no effort on his part to stop what was going on.
That's not true.
And all those people, every one of those who was convicted, turned over desks, turned them over statues.
What?
The idea.
He doesn't even know what they did. He doesn't even have a clue. The guy's fucking
When I
senile.
asked him about the first two debates we had, the first time around, I said, will you denounce the Proud Boy? He said, no, I'll tell them.
He's bringing up past points from the last election. Holy fuck, dude. Come up with something new.
What?
Denounce the people.
Yeah, it's just called back to
He's asking him now?
Denounce the people who attacked that Capitol. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna
What?
Wow, he can't even
President Trump for a follow-up question I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked
No,
about
he never said
members
that.
of the
He
Select
never said
Committee on
that. He
January
never said
6th going
political
to jail,
opponents,
and
throwing
your
words
main
in his
political
mouth.
opponent is standing
Jake
on stage
Tapper's a
with
piece
you
of
tonight.
shit.
Can you clarify exactly what it means about
Can you clarify
feeling
your
you have every
fucking
right to go
question, your
after
loaded ass
political
questions, bitch?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful.
I didn't like
Right
how a
now
lot
it's
of components of the Republican Party and of the Conservative Party were saying that that Tapper and the other bitch who did a good job. No, they fucking didn't, man. They were covering for Biden. They were attacking Trump with loaded fucking questions. Fuck them.
Let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death caused at the border. Telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo.
Too esoteric.
We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with the son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute.
I think it's one of ours. Wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie.
Ultra wore off.
To him.
It's wrong.
And the whole country.
No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. Number 3. The crimes that you are still charged with, and think about the civil penalties. I've got this. Billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for
$1 billion? He doesn't even know how much. God damn, he doesn't even know the cases that are brought against him. How the fuck does anybody take this guy seriously? It's mind-boggling.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number 1. Number 2, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official at DOJ into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We had a very terrible judge, horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and I've got
Drag out! CFR.org. Prosecutor's not fired. They're not getting the facility. She got fired. There you go.
We took in more money
Biden lied.
in the
Trump
last
was right.
2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken hundreds of millions of dollars they pouring in because the public knows it's a scam and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes.
Ooh.
What he's done.
Anybody that wasn't on his side, they ain't on his side now. Holy shit.
He's got a whole range of issues yet. I don't know what the jury will do.
Any undecided? Oh my god, they're... Yeah, he lost a lot of people with that one.
You literally threatened Americans with F-15s. ideas. What got me involved to run the first place after my son had died, I decided Iraq because of Iraq. I said I wouldn't have run until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Now he's mentioning Charlottesville. This guy has no new substance whatsoever, dude. And he's lying constantly. It's fucking crazy. Like, if anybody doesn't know this, and you're just like tuning in for whatever reason, you see this later on, just know this. This is what you gotta take away from this, all right? The Democrats, whenever they throw out an accusation, you gotta remember this is projection. This is projection. All you have to do is do a little bit of your own research, and you'll see that every little thing that they say is basically them, like, what they're doing. That is exactly what they're doing. So they've been constantly saying for like the past couple of months that Trump is like, he's a dictator, he's gonna go after his political opponents, he's basically Hitler, and he's gonna turn this into like a dictatorship and the Third Reich and all this crap. And then you take a look at all what the Democrats are doing. They are throwing case after bullshit case at Trump to get him off the ticket. There has been multiple Democrat judges, lawyers, representatives of the Democrat Party come out and say, we cannot let Trump run again because he's a threat to democracy. That is election fucking interference in its purest form because they hold political power. That is against our Constitution right there. And they're fucking saying it blatantly, thinking that they're being virtuous and shit. And then the fucking droves of sheep that they have underneath them that will vote blue no matter who type of bullshit, they're just as bad, dude. They are like, they're useful idiots. That's what they are. It's so sad. It's fucking pathetic.
Oh, it didn't. Let's roll it again.
If Trump had fucking went after Biden, let's say Trump was in power right now, and he went after Biden trying to get him on there and try to get him off the ticket, I would say the exact same thing. I'd be like, Trump, dude, this is not the way to go, dude. You're losing me here, man. And here's another example. There's just, you won't say that, oh yeah, you're just saying that because, you're on Trump's side or whatever. Dude, I don't like how Trump handled the vaccine, dude. I thought it was a good thing in the beginning. I was like, all right, he's getting it out quick. That's what we need. That's great. And then when I did more research into it and I looked into the research papers coming out of Texas on the trial phases, I was like, this is shit. And then every time Trump came out and started talking about the vaccine's good, it's good, I'm like, fuck, stop it, dude. Stop saying that. No, it's not good. It's not good. And the only thing I give him credit for is that he didn't mandate it. He was like, it's out there for anybody to use. It's not mandatory. If you want to take it, take it. And then Biden's punk ass came out. You want to talk about dictatorships? He fucking mandated it through the federal government and for all employees of every organization and company that had more than, I think it was 50 or 100 employees, had to go ahead and mandate the fucking vaccine. And universities. Fuck you. Fuck you, Biden. Fuck you, anybody that was going out and saying that, no, you have to take this to protect my grandma. Fuck your grandma. Fuck your uncle. Fuck your niece. Fuck your nephew. Fuck everybody that thinks that it is within your power to dictate what somebody injects into their body. Fuck you.
And so I got Ukraine. And I remember going over convincing our team, or others, to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv. And
you can recommend all day. You want to recommend something that's really harmful to people, but you're not sure of it? Okay, recommendations are fine, but not mandating it. Fuck you.
From Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out the press conference. I said, no, I said, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him.
And this right here, what they're talking about right here, Biden talking, this is the quid pro quo conversation.
I'm not getting the billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
That's it.
That's quid pro quo. That is illegal within the fucking government. He's on fucking tape, and they still haven't charged his ass because of it. Even when he wasn't vice president, they didn't charge his. Well, he was vice president when it happened.
That was the
Once he
video
become,
you saw
and he was a
share
private
with your
citizen for a
friends.
while.
He did
Well,
it.
Trump was in office,
Now,
and
you
then
might be a
Trump
liberal,
didn't go
but
after him
that's
because of
not a
this.
criminal action. That's fine. It's
Because
still a
that's going
conflict of interest,
against
and
your
we agree.
political
Biden
opponent.
should have done it, but I tell
Because
you this,
he was talking about running
Biden
again.
denied it even happened.
Holy
I
fuck.
just showed you the video. These the lies. It's
It is like gaslighting the entire American public, right? Joe Biden said repeatedly. I mean, Trump references these young girls who have died because of illegal immigration because and Biden's response is everything he just
Since
said
we're
was
gonna
wrong.
work together,
I mean,
only
he
right to
denied,
say
denied,
hello.
denied, and
They call me
it's
El
to the
Capitan.
detriment of
And they call you.
right? I'm gonna lie about the economy. I mean, even CNN.
See, no introduction's
Right
necessary.
before the show, we pulled
I
up
already
the
took
clip
care
the
of
guy
that.
saying, I tried to reorder
Someone
the same
comes
thing
to
from
me
Walmart.
with
It went from being
beers, I
120
take care of
which
it.
was to over $400. And CNN is like,
breathe,
about 100 to 120.
Remember,
fair a little bit. I think
Aye,
they're
Captain.
wrong. But they're
While
doing
we're
this
at it,
average broad thing,
need
and that
fresh
guy, who
wheels,
knows,
likes,
maybe he had like, you know,
Got it all.
there's
Real
like a
good
pork
price.
thing that's no longer
Hit me up
available.
anytime. You're here.
Fair to say though, 100 to 120 does not track with the inflation rates. That actually,
And I would argue that if there is something
Where's
that is
inflation
now
right
not
now?
widely
Where is it
available
at?
that
At
was then, that's
9%?
also an economic
It's at
problem, right?
9%?
Any
Get
kind of
the fuck
supply
outta
chain
here, dude.
issue falls back on the American people because they suffer because of it.
real quick. What's up?
There is a breaking S&P futures surge towards new record high as markets began pricing in a Trump 2024 election victory. Markets now see a high 64% chance of Trump winning the election. Odds on President Biden and the Secretary
Down 50%? Holy fuck.
4% inflation. Biden lied or down, and it spiked into Biden's first term. He blamed Trump for that. He is just absolutely lying.
While black unemployment dropped to a record low under your presidency, black families still earn far less than white families.
Because here's the other thing. Under Democrat run policies,
of white America.
it's always policies that sound good. They sound good. But when it comes to substance, they fucking suck.
The fact of the matter is, there's more small black businesses that have been started.
You want to know why inflation's so high? You want to know why inflation's so high? Remember those checks you were getting for the COVID shit? That's why they're so fucking high. Everybody was saying it at the time. No, don't throw out these checks. Don't throw all this money away. You're going to fucking make like the economy worthless. The dollar is like in free fall if you send these out. And guess what fucking happened? Economy shit because of it.
Choice that was at stake relative to childcare was incredibly difficult. Right. Reduce black childcare costs. I cut them in half. In half.
Get yourself together! In the Chiron, you're saying.
We've done a great deal so far, and I'm not letting up, and they know it.
You have 49 seconds left. What do you say to black?
This fucking thing with ideas and numbers is crazy.
You know what the interest rates are now on homes?
And he caused the inflation.
I know, right?
Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's poor people. They can't, like, you look at the cost of food, it's doubled, tripled, and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not living anymore. He caused this inflation. I gave him a a country with essentially no inflation is perfect.
1.4%.
And see, like, Trump caught himself there. He said no, like basically no inflation, because there was inflation when Trump came out of office. It was 1.4%. 1.4% inflation at the time.
His big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now. And it could be 18, it could be 19.
See, this is the funny thing. Initially, when this debate came out, I was like, Trump's get off the immigration thing, dude. Come up with something new. But no, this is what people are most pissed off about, especially in liberal cities. That, like, they're getting taken over by migrants coming across the border. And it's not just like a few hundred. It's hundreds of thousands are going into these neighborhoods and soaking up all the social programs and getting like all of the benefits that these guys are not getting. And they're like, what the fuck, dude? I'm living off of like food stamps. I'm living in a freaking halfway house and shit. And these motherfuckers are getting luxury hotels, free education for their kids, free food. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like, I'm not in that situation, but fuck, dude. I can understand the frustration. I didn't grow up wealthy. I remember going to the grocery store on my freaking bike that was a hand-me-down. That had the spokes pretty much all gone. Riding on it with my grandmother's freaking food stamps at the time, the paper food stamps. For anybody that old, remember those? Those paper food stamps, that booklet? And they only gave it to you once a month. If you lost it, you were pretty much fucked because they weren't going to issue you another one.
It's like the Michael Jordan 3 game, you know.
You used to buy groceries with that fucking thing, man. It was like basically money. But you couldn't buy everything with it. The only thing you could buy with it was food, and that was pretty much it. Yes, please. Fucking waste of money.
Go back to what he said about.
I love that he just went to
Close the police police group in the nation shouldn't have been state.
She shouldn't even be on stage.
Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't in the 1990s.
Nice. Ooh, nice reference.
I don't know. That wasn't actually that wasn't actually Biden. That was Clinton. That was Hillary. I'll fact check that one. That was Hillary.
Black colleges and universities where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job.
Yeah, was this a lie, Democrats? Was this a lie, you pieces of shit?
He came to me with the idea, and it was a great idea. It's one of the most successful.
Trump lied all night. Was he lying about this? No, he wasn't.
Opportunity zones, and the biggest beneficiary are blacks, and that's why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever the best numbers. He's
Fact check.
Back to immigration.
Fact check. Biden did not call black people super predators. That was Hillary Clinton. It was Clinton. Biden said predators on our streets.
Don't want my kids to grow up in a racial jungle.
Man, if you look at the amount of racist shit Biden said over the years, it's fucking astounding, man.
That's fair.
Yeah. 38 seconds left. President Trump, will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
Yeah, fuck the climate crisis, man. We have way more problems than that shit.
And I want absolutely clean air, and we had it.
And you want to know how bullshit the climate crisis is? They're talking about it all really got started with well, it got started prior to this, but it really got national attention with what was it, Al Gore in 2009 movie? Forget what it was called. It was basically saying by the year 2012 that the oceans were gonna like rise like 5 feet or 20 feet or something like that, and that like basically California and like everything along the the coastlines of everywhere was gonna fucking be underwater. We're in 2024 and the shit hasn't happened yet, and all the motherfuckers that are the most advocates for the climate crisis bullshit, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, who else, this piece of shit, the guys at Trudeau, that piece of crap over there across the pond in New England, that piece of shit too, that lady. They're all saying, oh yeah, like it's the most dangerous thing in the world. First it was global warming, right? They were like, it's getting too hot. It's getting too hot. The ice caps are going to melt and the oceans are going to rise. Hasn't happened yet. I think they said that, what was it? Like, they said that Britain was like gonna have like no longer it was like the poles were gonna flip or something, and that Britain was gonna be like basically like towards the border or towards the equator weather, tropical weather. Now they had like their coldest recorded winter like I think like 2-3 years ago. Yeah, it's all bullshit.
And China nothing, and Russia nothing, and India nothing. It was a ripoff of the United States.
No, stop telling him to do things that don't help him. What's wrong with you?
He's never going to listen to me ever.
We were the only ones. It was costing us money. Nobody else was paying into it, and it was a disaster. But everything that he said just now, I'll give you an example. I heard him say before insulin. I'm the one that got the insulin down for the seniors. I took care of the seniors. What he's doing is destroying all of our medical programs because the migrants coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you that. And I want to take care of people. But we're destroying our country. They're taking over our schools, our hospitals. They're going to be taking over Social Security. He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
Hassan the Hun says, Hassan Hiker, Biden saw RFK Jr. doing numbers on TikTok and wanted to sound like him.
We're the only ones of consequence.
Brutal, dude.
We're not members of the Paris Accord. How can we do anything? We're not able to, the United States can't get its pollution under control. One of the largest polluters in the world, number one. We're making significant progress. By 2025, we will have cut pollution in half. We have made significant progress. We're continuing to make progress.
What?
We set up a climate corps for thousands of young people will learn how to deal with climate, just like the Peace Corps. And we're moving in directions that are going to significantly change the elements of cause.
Spending federal money, and we're also destroying jobs in local economies. Cool. Sounds good.
He has the biggest heart up here, and he's really concerned about pollution and about climate. I've not seen any indication of that. And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for, one, voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
by the way,
struggle just to make ends meet for many older Americans. Social Security provides a critical lifeline. President Biden, if nothing is done to Social Security, seniors will see their benefits cut.
I'd like to thank CNN for this.
10 years. Will you name tonight one specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social Security solvent?
yes, make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
So stupid. So stupid.
Everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck.
It's infuriating because that is not going to change one goddamn.
The idea that they're going to,
There's not enough wealthy people in this country that you can tax to actually cover the cost of the deficit.
No.
1%.
I mean, like our yearly deficit.
I remember seeing some stupid TikTok a while ago where they were like talking about Elon Musk. Elon Musk is too wealthy. They need to tax him into oblivion. They need to tax him 70%. He has way more than enough. If Elon Musk gave his entire wealth, I'm not sure. I think he's in the hundreds of billions, maybe, his wealth. But they were like, if he just distributed his wealth to the United States, everybody would have $1 million. Like, what? You stupid people. And I think she was a college student too. It was like, oh my god, dude, this girl does not know economics whatsoever, dude.
Because this is the most important thing.
You know how I know that's bullshit?
This is national security.
You see like all these companies getting sued for like huge class action lawsuits, and they owe hundreds of millions of dollars, and then they finally send out the checks to all those that were affected. And like let's say if they were gonna, let's say like 100,000 people were affected in one of these big companies,
400,000 people,
and they get like half. Let's say they get half of like the actual settlement, and let's say it's $50 million, and it's 100,000 people. It's like everyone's getting like close to like what, $100 or something like that.
In a situation where I talk about education for black communities, I've raised.
And then I'm going to talk about.
Oh no.
Why menopause happens and how to help fix it. The biggest mistake women make in menopause.
Oh, there we go.
I've raised.
And then I'm going to talk about black people because I think that'll help me now.
another $8,000. So anybody making under $70,000 a year going to be able to get $15,000 toward their tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh,
thank you, President Biden.
No one knows what you're talking about.
Politicians, all my life, I've been on this side of the equation for the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've never seen it. He can look you in the face.
Yeah. So, like, let's say there was $50 million divided amongst 100,000 people. The math is $500. Yeah, so it's not a lot, dude. It's not a lot, and that's only 100,000 people. Only 100,000 people, and then the people that are asking for reparations for the black community, that's even more retarded. More retarded. Because like, there's no way of knowing who is actually, like, you know, an ancestor of a slave back then, because all black people, a lot of stupid black people think that their ancestors are all slaves. You might have been a slave owner's ancestor. Because like blacks in America did own slaves at that time too.
It's really coming back. I've never
that's a lot. That's a like a talking point that a lot of people don't like to talk about.
By the way, he said he acknowledged after that he fired that general.
Yeah.
That general got fired.
That's why he lied.
He's the one that acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it. Number one. Number two.
This guy loves his numbers, man. Number one, number two, number 285,641.
Illegal aliens are coming
42, 41. I don't know, a trillion.
There's a reason why we have the fastest growing economy in the world. The reason why we have the most successful economy in the world.
Dude, the middle class.
We're doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates he talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureates, economists, they all said that if Trump is reelected, we're likely to have a recession.
Oh yeah, that's who I want to listen to.
Inflation's going to increasingly go up. And by the way, worst president in history, presidential scholars voted the worst president in the history of the United States of America.
What, a bunch of
Hey.
Both you and President Biden have tried to address this issue, but the average cost of child care in this country has risen to more than $11,000 a year per child for many families. The cost of child
everybody
care
got
for
decimated
2 children
here.
is more than
He said he won the debate. He would like some money.
To make child care more affordable.
Just to go back, the general got fired.
They're always going back.
He should. He said that. That's why he made it up.
Yeah, you never give them a little point that they get off. If you don't address a point, your opponent wins that point. So yeah, you have to address everything that they throw at you.
I've never seen him fire.
That's like debate rules 101.
A lot of the top at the FBI drained the swamp.
I think he got.
Not easy to fire people. You pay a price for it. I inherited these people. I didn't put them. He was no good. I fired him. This guy hasn't fired anybody. He never fires. He should have fired every military man.
Back to your fired right here?
Afghan.
I just love that Trump is like, yes, you should fire people who are bad. Biden's like,
Most
can you believe he
embarrassing
would
moment
fire
in the
someone?
history of our country. Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world? 18 million people, many from prison, many from mental institutions. Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed?
Get him.
Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate.
Nice. Wow. That's it. That's it.
Why don't you asshole? Said about me because I said it.
That was good.
Look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country. Now all of a sudden,
when he says he's the worst president,
he came out with a
understand for a lot of people
a nothing deal.
Oh my God.
He wants to pick up those people, and I don't think we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this rut. We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's
There you
the most
are.
admired country in the world. The United States of America. What? There's nothing beyond our capacity.
I love that effect, man. You get them with contagion, then you freaking shoot them with something that's gonna cause fire. Fucking great.
Nope.
58.
I actually
And on Pride Month.
All he does is appeal to authority.
They've had meetings. They voted who's the worst president in American history. One through best to worst. They said he was the worst of all.
They're saying like Biden is claiming Trump is the worst president.
Same poll said Wilson was the
You
best.
can argue they're wrong, but that's what they say. The idea that he is knowing anything to deal with childcare. He did.
Yeah. His first movie ever played in the White House was Birth of a Nation.
Child care tax credit. He should significantly increase the availability of women and men or single parents to be able to go back to work. And we should
He said women and men and realized that was a bad thing.
That's a fucking. That's the problem, dude.
President Trump
That's the fucking problem. If anybody thinks that
Just so you understand.
like the whole thing that, like, it's baffling to me about the whole unemployment rate. Like, I don't think it's a good idea to have a low unemployment rate. You want to talk about, like, parents struggling to fucking, like, take care of their kids and shit. That's the number one, is the employment rate. Like, half the United States should be fucking unemployed. And you know which half? Guess what's half? The fucking women that have children. A lot of women don't have kids? Okay, so let's say half of them. Okay, so 25% of the population, well, you would put even more than that because of the kids and the elderly. So it should be somewhere near 65% of the population should be working, and then the other 35% should not be working, because that's children, the elderly, and the mothers. The mothers should not be working, dude. That was a fucking ploy of the deep state in order to get more taxable people in their workforce, so they can pretty much get a bunch of mules out there chasing fucking carrots, dumping, so they can go ahead and lower the wages for the American citizen, so they can't afford shit. And then they say that in the 1950s was the most oppressive in U.S. history because of the feminist and the sexual revolution and shit. A garbage man, a guy making garbage man wages, was able to afford a fucking house. You look at like old sitcoms like Married with Children with Al Bundy. He used to be a female shoe salesman, and that motherfucker can own a 2-story house. Two fucking story house. He was still considered, like middle class, and he didn't have like a lot of money to do a lot of shit, but he could afford a 2-story house. There's fucking like people with licenses and doctorates out there that can't even afford a fucking apartment in Los Angeles, let alone a 2-story house.
We are at the lowest trade deficit with China since 2010.
Thank you, President Biden. Thank you, President Biden. Let's discuss an epidemic impacting millions of Americans that both of you have made a top priority in your first term, the opioid crisis. And
Vox reporting a Biden cabinet member making the case for terrorism.
It's not opioid, it's fucking fentanyl, dipshit.
Under your term, it went up. Under Catherine's it's gone up. Former President
When in the term, bitch? When in the term?
Are dying from overdose.
Ilhan Omar's complaining about CNN.
You can't moderate a debate if you're unable to at least push back on outrageous lies.
It's like, and how much did it go up under Trump? Like slightly towards the end of his presidency, because Biden was like showing to be the projected winner, and then all the cartels knew, oh, this motherfucker's going to open the border. Let's just send it all now.
Pro-Biden people are saying CNN is bad, and the realistic liberals are like, and the progressives are like, Biden is done.
He's afraid to deal with them or something. But you know, my tariffs, because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I imposed on China. He never took it. It's too much money. It's tremendous. And he he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country, and he's got the worst situation with China. China's going to own us if you keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe.
I just saw a report where China's economy is in free fall. I should look more into that. What's going on there? They recently had a whole snafu about, what was it, a couple months ago regarding their real estate market, because some company was cheating out a bunch of banks out of loans, saying that they basically embezzled it.
Where it started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the certain dog that's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot, and we were getting very low numbers, very, very low numbers. Then he came along. The numbers, have you seen the numbers now? It's not only the 18 million people that I believe is even low, because the gotaways, they don't even talk about gotaways.
Oh, yeah.
but the numbers of the amount of drugs and human trafficking in women coming across our border, the worst thing I've ever seen, at numbers that nobody's ever seen under
Borders
him,
totally
because the border's
collapsed. When I was
so
in
bad.
Yuma, they don't even patrol it. Like they patrol it just like TSA, but they want to give you a water bottle and
we've ever had by
tag
far.
for your suitcase and give you a room.
There's mountains in Arizona that the cartel run that are on the American side.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so like it's all literally
I
run by
wanted to make
gangs.
sure we use the machinery that can detect fentanyl.
Border's an
These big
abstract
machines
idea
that
now.
roll over everything that comes across the border.
Frank
It
Lund
costs a
says
lot of
Trump
money.
sounds like a man of the
that
people.
was part of this deal we put together, this bipartisan deal.
Joe Biden's
More fentanyl machines.
Oh, no, he's saying
more be able to
Challenger Trump sounds like a man of the people.
more-
Incumbent
more
Trump sounds like a man out for himself.
of agents, more
It's a
numbers.
different Trump tonight. Wow.
Oh,
This
That's
Trump,
Frank Lund's.
this Trump sounds
when we had
more
that deal
presidential
done,
and more on
he went
message
and
and
called
more
Republican
disciplined.
colleagues said,
Frank
"Don't
Lund says, at the first commercial break, I asked the focus group of undecideds how many are more convinced to vote for Biden. Zero raised their hands.
machines. We need
Shout out to
those
Harry
machines.
Sisson. How's it
We're
going for you,
coming out
buddy?
Very hard in every country in Asia in terms of precursors for fentanyl, and Mexico is working with us. That's what we have
Joe
to
Biden
do.
said
We
he had
need
to come out
those
of this
machines.
with President
Thank you, President.
Biden's voice is weakening his answer on January 6th. I'm saying that matters.
He ended Remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so many things that we had done.
These guys live in two alternate realities.
With Mexico, and I got it all for
like showing
nothing.
people,
It's just like when you have a
George Floyd
hostage.
video
We
or
always pay
Rittenhouse
$6
video, and they
billion
have
for a hostage. Every time we say there's a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter.
Oh,
I think a good guy, and he's over there.
The
because
only
Putin was
person
laughing
supporting
at this
Biden
guy,
right now is
probably
Harry
asking
Sisson.
for billions of dollars. for a
Olbermann
reporter.
and some
I
other
will have
prominent
him out
liberals are
very quickly,
tweeting CNN is
as soon
botching
as I
it,
take
CNN,
office.
CNN. They
Before
know
I
it's
take
bad.
office,
And
I
then
said,
Biden is cooked.
As soon
This
as
is
I win
also-
the
CNN
election,
got a lot of
I will have
town
that
hall.
reporter
Remember
out.
that?
He should have had him out a long time ago.
serious. I see
But
Biden
Putin's
giving,
probably
like, a
asking
very
for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays
This is exactly why they have been using lawfare against Donald Trump. Because this would be every single day if they were not put, if they did not have him in court and they didn't have him constantly, like, he would be brutalizing.
You would need to be at the end of your second term. How do you address concerns about your capability to handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s?
First of all, I spent half my career being criticized being the youngest person ever elected to the United States. I think I've turned around the horrible situation he left me.
What?
As I said, 15 million
Greatest numbers of our lives.
Well, the whole idea of computer chips. We used to have cheapest jobs overseas and then bring home a product. So I went to South Korea. I convinced Samsung to invest billions of dollars here in the United States. And they're, guess what? Those fabs they call it, to build these chips. Those fabs are over $100,000. You don't need a college degree.
And they constantly say that when Biden does this freaking stuttering shit, that he always had a stutter. No, he didn't. No, he fucking didn't. Look at old press conferences of Biden, and when he's on the Senate floor, he never stuttered before. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I would. The idea that somehow we are this failing country. I never heard a president talk like this before.
President?
We're the envy of the world. Like, name me a single major country president. Wouldn't trade
Do something!
Nigeria
Anything, damn it!
Yeah, we're the greatest.
We're the strongest.
I think we are, but I think we're in trouble because of
country in the world
Biden.
who keeps
Yeah.
our word, and everybody trusts us. And our those who hate kids down there.
Yeah, jeez.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Follow up, you reached 82 at the end of your second term. What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests.
As you know.
He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one. A real easy one.
A real easy one, not a hard one,
But I
an
took
easy
2
one.
cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And, you know, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way, and I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But
His testicles are full of
Yeah, I know all of ours are. Yeah, let's hear him.
Great guy when he was White House doctor, and then I took another one, a similar one, and one of them said they'd never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden.
Never seen it before in my life.
123 pounds, 35 pounds. Well, you said 6'4".
Oh my God, that's good.
Anyway, just take a look at what
He said 6'4", he never said 6'4". The thing about Biden is that, like, he is terrible with time frame. So I'm guessing he's talking about another time Trump said something, but he has to go ahead and clarify that first before he starts trying to make his point. And you have all these fucking brain-dead liberals that are coming to his defense, trying to say, no, he meant this time. He meant this time. Well, let him fucking clarify it, man. Fuck, dude. The guy doesn't even know what fucking time he is. He thinks he's a fucking time traveler. He thinks that fucking Back to the Future was a real event. I didn't hear that. Let me go back.
You will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable.
See, this right here is a stupid loaded fucking question. They wouldn't ask Biden this stupid question.
That is such a lie.
That is totally a lie.
200.
Oh my.
Oh, no, that's goodness. Anyway, just take a look at what he said. Take a look at what he is.
What?
I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. The reason I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6.
Oh, we're doing golf now.
Yeah, they should play golf.
I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap.
That is such a lie.
That is totally a lie.
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
That's the moment.
I've seen your swing. I know your swing.
Of course, she has to interrupt.
Trump's way to call somebody out is fucking beautiful.
Have been exhausted. That you will accept the results of this election, regardless of
Another bullshit loaded question, man. I swear to fucking God, I hate these people.
political violence in any form is unacceptable.
Well, I shouldn't have to say that. Of course I believe that. It's totally unacceptable. And you will see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the road card. You would say it's one of the strongest statements.
And guess
you've ever
what?
seen.
Guess
In
what,
addition to the
everybody?
speech I made.
I'm gonna pause it right here. Guess what? They've done this to Trump for fucking ever, man. During the whole 2016, 2020 presidential, campaign season, they tried to paint him as a racist and white supremacist, and he denied it. There's like a compilation online of like 15 minutes of Trump continuously denying white supremacy and racism, and even today they're still fucking saying it, still saying it. And then you'll go to one of these political, talking heads and anchors and shit like that, and they will still say he has not denied it yet. He dances around the issue when he will say it flat out. I deny white supremacy. I am not a racist, whatever like that. And then they will still say he never said it. It's fucking unbelievable. And right here, he's saying Trump wants violence. Trump is advocating. He was January 6th, leader. He's the one telling them to go and go to the Capitol and commit violence, which he never did. You can see videos online from their own speech, but these fucking people, dipshits, are blue no matter who, faggots out there, they they will never look at the whole video. And even if they were to see it, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care that he never said it. Or he's saying be peaceful. Well, it doesn't matter because they went and were angry and they broke windows. And they won't look at the evidence of January 6th of the footage that came out after the hearings, because the fucking hearing thing was a total sham into itself. They were out to get political points. The whole Democrat of fucking playbook is to slice off my ear to spite my face. If you don't know that analogy, it's basically I'm going to go forward with this bullshit narrative, knowing that it's going to be reversed in the future, knowing that that the people paying attention are going to know it's a lie, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to go forward with it because in this day and age, people's attention spans are so fucking small that it's not about if it's true. It matters if you said it first. And that it splashes. You said it first and it splashes. They're like fucking retards out there. Good splash, good splash. Fucking stupid idiots, man. Anybody that was on the whole George Floyd BLM bullshit. Anybody that was on board with the Russia. Anybody who was on board that the laptop was Russia in disinformation. Anybody that was on board that Biden did a good job with the Afghanistan withdrawal. You guys are all fucking useful idiots. A lot of people. Let's get some contagion in there. Who's close to who? Let's get you.
Come on with your hands in the air!
He's feeling it. I swear, contagion, along with any type of fire quick hack is like broken, especially at the higher levels. Tear out a whole group within seconds. Oops. Cops are on my ass. Yeah, man. I have a name. But like I was saying, like, so Trump can go ahead and deny, that I want peace. I don't want any type of, political retaliation or violence. Just because it doesn't go your way doesn't mean you can go out there and, like, tear shit down or whatever. Talking to you, BLM and Antifa, you fucking pricks. And none of those motherfuckers were prosecuted, by the way. They destroyed Portland. They destroyed Indianapolis. They're still fucking looting and destroying Chicago. And yet, no mass, prosecutions there for these fuckers. Oh, isn't that fucking convenient? It's guess what the playbook is, guys, for these fucking guys in charge. Hey, we're only gonna assume power, to where we could tell you what to fucking do as long as there is an emergency. Well, guess what? The emergencies never fucking stop because they initiate the fucking emergencies all the time. That's the fucking playbook. We only have supreme power when there's an emergency. The emergencies will never fucking stop with these people because they're power fucking hungry. You think those BLM rioters and the Antifa people, you think they're not funded by anybody? You think they're not told where to go and what to do? Fuck, man. Coordinated attacks, people. Any military person here will tell you, if they take a real good look at these events that take place, these mass events, these mass thefts, and destructions of properties and shit involving these groups, they're going to be like, these are coordinated attacks. Where the fuck did those pallets of bricks come from that they were smashing the buildings in Minneapolis and New York and Chicago? Oh, there was construction nearby. There was no construction nearby. There was no walled off properties or anything like that. Just a pallet of bricks somewhere. And how are these motherfuckers getting across the country? What, they ain't got no jobs? They ain't got no loved ones they got to take care of? No dependents? The fuck out of here, man.
Believe the largest crowd I've ever spoken to, and I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol, and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said,
And that was absolutely true. Look at the video.
She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president, because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of my many places enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been his political opponent. Because he indicted me.
This is new.
Because I was his
Look
opponent.
at people just taking a piss out in
I wish he was a
public.
great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. The only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make...
Oh, first one of the night.
Here we go, MAGA.
Right now, we're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are laws
They're not insane, they're
He will
atrocious.
drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III.
Joe Biden cannot control the nuclear arsenal.
Kim Jong-un.
This man cannot control nuclear weapons.
Kim Jong-un of North Korea. All of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
Must be here somewhere. So do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want.
You want NATO?
Attack
He can't do this. He cannot.
Response. The idea. I can't trade places with the job I've done and what they've done.
You're only making it worse for yourself. I'm out.
They kick anything, they step up when they need it. And right now, we need to protect the world because their own safety is at stake. And again, if you want to have a war, just let Putin go ahead and take Kyiv.
Who cares about Ukraine? I literally don't care.
Then you have a war.
Come on out. You're not in trouble.
Come back to you for a follow-up. The question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish, he said, if I might, Russia, they took a lot of land from Bush. They took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do it.
You're only making it worse for yourself.
I got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me. Now he's going to take the whole thing from this man right here. That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started, ever, with me.
Drop your weapons and come out.
He said, I will never shut up. They're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers. They've lost so many people. It's so sad. They've lost so many people, and they've lost those gorgeous cities, trench warfare.
People with autism,
women,
Down syndrome
and
people.
stupid decisions. Russia would have never attacked.
President Trump's appointment was will you accept the results of the election, regardless of who wins, yes or no?
Just taking what he's got, keeping it
legal, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week.
For anybody saying that the 2020 election was fair and balanced, okay. So in Georgia, when that water leak happened at the counting center, and then they later found out that there was no water leak and no plumber or anybody to fix the water leak had been called, and yet they continued counting throughout the night. How do you fucking explain that, dipshits? How do you explain that? Or how about in Pennsylvania when they just stopped counting for the fuck of it? There was no water leak, there was no emergency, they just stopped fucking counting in the middle of the night. How do you explain that? And then 4 a.m. the next morning, all of a sudden, there's 900,000 new votes that came in, and 100% of them were for fucking Biden.
Not one
How do you explain that away?
said any of your claims had any merit.
It's fucking bullshit, dude. I don't give a damn if it's blue no matter who. In the bluest county you can fucking find, 100%
Representation.
count for Biden?
There's no
Get the
evidence
fuck
of that
out of
at
here,
all.
man.
And I tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a minor. The idea if you lose again, you accept anything, you can't stand the loss. It's snapping you with this last time.
We'll be right back
There it
with
is.
more from the CNN presidential debate live from Silverado.
All right, so the closing statements will likely be next. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready. Talk about a wild night. I want to play. Let me pull up a clip for you. Greg Price had it. It's the greatest, one of the best moments from the debate. Let me grab this here. Oh, you know what? Actually, it's on mine, isn't it? Yeah, I think I
You got nowhere to run. Surrender.
Shut up.
Now.
The total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border control and more asylum.
That's what he said either. Look.
That's it. The golf swing one was good too. The debating over his handicap. That's the biggest lie, a 6. What do you say? Maybe an 8?
He's like, I've seen your swing.
Yeah.
I also like that Trump has a catch. I like all good superheroes have a catchphrase, and Trump is literally able to drop it and make America great again. Don't come on! Biden is sort of like, that guy's really bad. Like, he just falls apart in his senses, and it's going reloading! Cover me! It feels uncomfortable at times because he is so slurred.
This past week that we were going to get a Trump moment where we just don't know what Biden said. He could have way better than I ever expected. I really don't know what he just said.
After this, with some other candidate.
There's supposed to be one in September, and that's what I find fascinating. Is this is Joe Biden? But it's not like this, and it's not so where he doesn't seem to be sitting right. Even in that video, he's sitting back, he's projecting confidence, and he's talking about a story about, you know, telling Ukraine they have to fire that prosecutor. So he did feel confident.
Real
Very
quick,
different.
Biden has recovered a little bit in the prediction markets. He's currently sitting at 75% to reach of 16s. He has who will be the Democrat nominee. And then for the president, he's dropped 7. Trump is at 59. So Biden's recovered a little bit since the worst point of this.
I've seen this in person at the GOP debate in California and have showed up. And despite everyone there loved him, even like Hannity, you know, he was so confident with people, I couldn't believe it. I could see him taking over.
Then you guys fall for
I
bullshit.
don't think Biden will give up his position. And
If you know he's a fucking awful person and you're falling for like him being charming, that just shows how easily you're easily manipulated.
That body. So anyone who supports
It's like a
Biden
beautiful woman that has a terrible
right
fucking
now,
personality.
They aren't going to let him drop out unless it's absolutely possible. I mean, they are putting someone who seems to be getting confused in every sentence, who is actually slurring, who looks fatigued. Like, it's not projecting strength, and they're still like, we're gonna see this through.
Well, the Clintons behind the scenes. I mean, you know.
They're not coming out and publicly defending him very, very often, right? They will, when really push, they'll occasionally go to a fundraiser, but it doesn't. Again, people will point out that, you know, Vance have been critical of this, but ultimately, Trump is projecting leadership.
All right, here we go.
It is now time for the candidates to deliver their closing statements as previously. We're going to begin with you, President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
We've made significant progress on the debacle as well by President Trump in his last term.
Holy fuck.
Found ourselves in a situation
He
where
can't even finish the last fucking final thoughts without stuttering
I ask anyone out
and losing his train of thought.
watching this debate, do you think the tax system is fair? fact is that I said nobody even making.
You had 3 years to change it, bitch. You've done fucking nothing.
Increasing their taxes, and will not. And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit.
He dropped them, you fucking idiot. Oh my god, dude. Like I said, it's projection, dude. Whenever they throw out a slur or an accusation on somebody, it's always projection. They're the ones fucking doing it.
By putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes in the United
Biden's even gone after Trump for this. Hey, you threw out the biggest tax cut in U.S. history, but it was for the wealthy. But even though those downstream, they felt it too, they still got lower taxes. Biden has higher taxes. Newsom has higher taxes. Both these dipshits have higher taxes over the last 3 years. That's why everything's so fucking expensive.
It should be $35 for insulin instead of $400. No more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter how much prescription they need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years.
Over fucking 10 years. That's fucking nothing. We're at 30 trillion plus debt right now. 160 billion over 10 fucking years. That is nothing.
He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credit that people have for child care. We're going to make sure we do something about what we're doing.
Yo, V, check it. There's a site on the net out to smear the mayor, Milton Hope. Well, acting, because, you know, he's up for re-election or whatever. Sure, politics, am I right?
You now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Stealing never stops. Not for him, man.
Just a complainer.
Anyhow, my client wants that site sucked into the cold vacuum of cyberspace. Scan the brief. Need more info.
Unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terrorists, no money whatsoever. Again, he talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you. Because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's ever seen anything like it. Even from the medical standpoint, Right to Try, where we can try space-age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what? It's a choice for our soldiers. Where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves. And they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden. Stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate. Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett starting now.
Well, I actually would like to give a shout out and a thank you to CNN for hosting this. I think the moderators kept it chill. They stayed out of it. It does.
No, they did
like
not. No, they were definitely in it.
Capacity only. Not necessarily politically, but because the dude was struggling. That being said, by putting this debate on, Biden's numbers are tanking. And I'm down.
It does seem at times that they were like watching him stutter and stop and start from far away. It must be very uncomfortable in the room. I think that it will be interesting to see if and how Joe Biden reacts in the September debate, because this was not good.
All right, so that's it for the debate. So make sure you can follow me on X at TimCast. Live on rumble.com/TimCast.io. You can follow me on Instagram as well. I just want to give a shout out as we're going to start heading to bed. Become a member at TimCast.com. We'll stay live for a few more minutes to Finding more on this. Become a member at timcast.com to support our work directly. Head over there. We normally do Monday through Thursday members-only call-in shows. So when we have guests on, you can actually submit questions through our Discord. Join the show with us Monday through Thursday at 10 p.m.
All right, thank you, Timcast. Thank you very much. All right, what else I want to listen to? Salty on?
Imagine hearing glass shatter at 3 a.m. and you hear someone walking around.
Oh yeah,
your
he
house,
is on right
but
now.
The whole family is.
Hey, so check this out. These mystery boxes normally cost $60, and during the winter, people pay full price for them.
No. Here's what I think was supposed to happen, Kevin. I think January 6th was supposed to be the end of MAGA. I think that they set up a trap for January 6th, and I think they unfolded it in a way where they probably got about 30% of what they wanted out of the whole January 6th thing. So they wanted to put Trump supporters, they got some more ammunition to mean Trump with and the bullshit passion. But overall, what was supposed to happen on January 6th was be a
Losing soldiers!
I think Nancy Pelosi had people, not necessarily her, but the people who run Nancy Pelosi. I think they were supposed to be their usefulness was supposed to wear out, and they were supposed to get. Listen, I think it was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's gotta
Read what you're screaming about and understand and the talking points for January 6th were supposed to line up with what actually happened on January 6th, but it didn't work out. I think the false. So I think it was supposed to be. I think that January 6th. People wearing Trump gear end up killing members of Congress? Maybe they kill like one or two. It doesn't matter. If people wearing Trump gear kill anybody on January 6th, holy fuck, that takes all the wind out of Trump's sails, and it really hammers down. It hits Trump in a way that they haven't been able to hit Trump. The problem with the deep state and the establishment and Trump is they can't break apart his base. You convict him, you charge him, you mugshot him, you just make us more pissed off. You just grow his base, right? January 6th was supposed to destroy his base. I think that was the plan. I think the plan was to destroy his base, destroy any political opposition to the installed regime, and Joe Biden was probably supposed to step the fuck down. I think Joe Biden was probably supposed to hand off to Kamala, and Kamala was supposed to pick somebody to help her because she wasn't ready to be president. Maybe Hillary Clinton, maybe somebody. I don't know who it was, but Joe Biden was not supposed to be a full-term president. They wanted to remove him probably halfway through at least. They didn't get what they wanted, and they couldn't do it because Donald Trump's base never broke. Donald Trump's base doesn't break, then you can't remove Joe. Joe's got to stay in. That was their fucking nightmare. The fact that it's 4 years later and Joe's forced to fucking stay there, and then you got to pretend he can do another 4 years. I think that part's cracking because his dementia is outpacing any. Their big fucking brain plan for rehabilitating Joe Biden is to get him out more. Holy fuck! Are you idiots even listening to yourselves? You've been hiding him for 8 fucking years. Your big genius plan now is to get him out there more? How the fuck's he going to debate in September? It's going to be even worse. They're in a lot of trouble. A miscalculation.
Best believe it.
Massive miscalculation. So I'm expecting false flags.
Nah, Joe is a sacrificial lamb to them. You're a useful idiot. You're gonna be the president, good boy. And they're gonna fucking throw his ass under the bus.
And assassination. I'll be very vague. Obviously, I don't want that. Obviously, I don't want that. The only thing that helps hold this regime in this situation is incredibly dark. Incredibly dark for a person who's seen tournament. So my brain goes in really weird situations. Like, oh my god, this is good. This is crazy times. This is crazy times. I want Joe Biden to run against Donald Trump. And if you guys pull him, I think that's good too. That's good too. But these evil motherfuckers are up to some crazy shit. They don't do all of this without contingency. The evil people behind this, they don't do this without contingency plans. And their contingency plans will only harm this country. Get it? President Benson, no you're not. Seeing him on television, he's the only man about my height I am. Thanks, bro.
The people in power right now, they will never secede power. Never. The only way they'll secede power is, like, they won't. Either they rule or they'll fucking burn the entire place down.
Amnesty.
And I'm pretty sure they're already set up to do it.
An apprentice-like game show. When do you get amnesty? It's the world's worst Trump impersonation, but fuck you. When do you get amnesty? Which one wants it? Which one wants it? Fight, bitches! Cunts! Say it loudly. Say it proudly, man. Thank you.
We nail one asshole to the wall and another rises up in the polls. Politics is fucking usual.
Sorry, Johnny, but I don't have time for your little anarchist revolution.
Yeah? Well, it'd be easier than slicing heads off a fucking Hydra. One more reason this city could use another nuke.
Very salty army member wishes to carry out our torch for our cause. Very cool of you to say that. Yeah, people have been telling me that. I jumped the gun on Benny Johnson. I humbly apologize. Trying to be funny, and I was also, you know, like, it's a spin-off of Dune, and people have been saying it forever, but so I am protective of it, even though there's no way to come out of this without sounding like a lame asshole, and so I humbly apologize for attacking Benny Johnson, Hoorah! Thanks, Howard. Thank you. We got a couple super chats about that the other day. So, there's no bad. Even when that was going on, it's not really bad blood. You have to mention. You gotta mention that I'm trying to be funny.
You did it, V. Just got word that virus blazing toward the servers like a fucking asteroid.
Not that I got a problem with that.
3 more.
I love drama channels.
Thanks. Closing the key.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't have the human skills. Fuck you, Jeremy's. Both geeks and gamers and the board. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'll steal your shit. I'm trying to get a fight with those. I think I could. I just like these guys a lot. OGP, here's some cash for the Joe Biden. Thank you, brother.
Where are you at?
We the snake pit now.
Hey.
Where's the snake pit now? Snake. We're still in that pit. We'll be snake.
I got you, Salty. Give me a
Come
second.
fight me, bro. The whole hoax is in the fact that 1 million people showed up to DC on January 6th and cheer congressional act not prevented. Well, Peacemaker, the other thing is you got 500,000 people at bare minimum. 500,000 people bare minimum. And they went to go overthrow the government, but they forgot their guns. That's fucking stupid. These lefties are, again, normies are dumb. Just goes to show Yahweh created this perfect world. Our world is circular based on 3 shapes: circle, square, and probably triangle. Oh shit, I forgot that. That's fucking Top Gun, thanks, bro. What are the deadlines?
It's not there? What the fuck?
Well, they're different for all these places. J6 was lit. We doing fireworks? We're gonna do fireworks on J6, boys. The dates are different in all these different places, but having your candidate on the ballot, those are hard deadlines. And he's already, some of them are now expiring. So, the DNC can have a different candidate, but whether that candidate will be on the ballot is a completely different issue. And so the easiest way to remove Joe Biden is just bring in Kamala, but they refused to bring in Kamala because Kamala wasn't put there for any legitimate reason. Kamala was put there so she'd be a good fucking girl and shut the fuck up. Kamala Harris had a golden ticket to print money if Joe Biden was president by her just running around calling him a fucking racist. And she would have been richer than fuck. And they didn't want her doing that. And so they said, we're gonna make you VP, and she's a stupid, dumb fucking bitch. She took that.
Damn it.
Meanwhile, she's being embarrassed left and right by the fact that nobody is talking about her. Okay, so everybody's acknowledging that Joe Biden has dementia. We still got a half year to go before. Not only do you have a half year till the election, but then you got to go all the way to January. we got a long time before a presidential handover, right? So you're all now acknowledging, CNN to MSNBC to BBC, you're all acknowledging that Joe Biden's got dementia, but not a single person says, "Holy fuck, we got to go all the way to January 20th before we get a new administration."
Here he goes, right here.
Kamala take the role?
Snake, are you okay? Snake? Snake!
Let's exploit it. Let's exploit it. When questioned by two women of color on CNN, Van Jones sounded like Soul the Godfather about dumping Kamala. You worry about that. So it's Michelle. We'll see, lads. We'll see. But I'll see you on Wednesday, essays. Until then, stay safe, stay salty, stay geeked and strapped up, because it's going to get fucking hairy out there. Watch your six and stay frosty. See you Wednesday. Peace out, everybody. Thank you.
Damn, that was fast. I showed up to the stream way late. Alright.
Buy again.
Tired of running around town. I need to get myself a bike. Alright, where are you at? $66,075. Cool blue or rocket red? Oh, cool blue. See this bad boy. Oh, you bastard. Fucked up my ride, man. At least it's durable. By the way, I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just checking out the handling of it. Oh my god. I just broke that lady's back.
Area. Disorderly conduct reported in Watson. 331 responding. On my way, dispatch. But only because I like you. Suspect's vehicle has been located. Details have been sent.
Are you sure about that? Out here. You catch me on
All
this bike?
units be advised. Suspect remains in the vicinity.
Am I in the vicinity still? Am I? You don't get
Code 0. I repeat, Code 0 in this area. All units resume normal duties.
surprised this freaking motorcycle hasn't caught fire yet. Just fucking fuck. Oh yeah. I love this bike.
You don't know me, but you will. Name's Dino. Deal with downtown, city center.
V.
Yeah, I know. Word about you. Hot stuff. Need anything, you call me. Remember, Dino knows everybody.
Oh shit! And that was the end of the poor
You
bike.
playing fucking hide and seek?
Yeah. Rest in peace, new bike. You will be sorely missed. Alright, I think I'm gonna end it here. That was a nice little fun adventure on the new bike. I'll be able to call it back and let's see how much. Repairing in 4 minutes. Alright then. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. If you did, if you didn't, well, you wouldn't hear it anyway. Alright. Have a good rest of your Sunday, guys.